I'm like panicking that I'm not recording and stuff like that right now. And I'm like, because I'm so used to doing the other side, I'm like, it's been like what nearly a year now I've been recording all the other ones. So one of them with Sam I didn't record as well. Oh, what time is your fight at? You don't have one. Because I can pause it if you want me to like sync it to the exact same time. It does mean I need to pause it on two devices and then resync those two devices, but it'll be cool. It's mad that Ankle kind of outboxing them here. Yeah. So you've got other guys now, like guys like Peter Yan and Volkanovski and shit like that, where people are like, everybody doesn't really know how good they are because you've only really like seen them fight a couple times. Like now, I know even Peter Yan's fought probably loads of guys in the UFC, but you're like, I don't really know. Like when you've got, say, when like TJ Dillashaw had a couple fights for the title, you felt like you'd seen all of his fights and you know him inside out. You know every single bit of what he's going to do and stuff like that. You get the whole concept of him. Whereas guys like Peter Yan Volkanovski are like, I don't really know. Yeah, yeah. Volkanovski is probably one of the other than DJ. He's probably like the first like proper MMA guy that's at the top. Well, it's just because DJ didn't have the fights to prove grittiness, did he? He just battled everything. Yeah. Even now, he's probably like, yeah, like if Twitch is getting me enough, fighting's fucking hard. Yeah. I'm surprised more of these. I think him and Rampage probably were the first, were they? Because Rampage loves Twitch and shit. Rampage is so weird. What a weird guy. He's like 40 years old, loves Twitch, always goes on these little video calls with Shannon Briggs and shit like that these days, which are all fucking hilarious. Because he's supposed. Have you seen any of them? His little videos with Shannon Briggs? It's they're supposed to fight each other and in boxing, and then apparently MMA after it. Let's see if Shannon Briggs sticks to that. But they're like every time the two of them are just two guys that are like big piss takers, and the two of them are fucking hilarious together because they act like they don't like each other, but they fucking love each other. Like they've got the exact same sense of humor, so they love being on these calls with each other, getting a wee slagging match going. Probably the same size now as well with Rampage. And then you got things like Rampage saying like, "Oh yeah, if we do a fight, you need to get tested." And then Shannon Briggs is like, "No, no, I'm not." Yeah, what a mad one. Sure, when they wanted to fight uh, one of the clutch goes, and I think it's Vladimir, and then it was definitely fake, I think, but it was still funny as fuck that Vladimir was out on a little wakeboard thing, like the little stand up and paddle board. I don't know what one that is. Maybe it's called paddleboard. And Shannon Briggs was following them like to every country he was in to call him out for a fight, and then he like went past him on a boat and made him fall off the paddleboard, and then And I don't know if it's like there's a good chance. I think even though the Klitschko's seemed really stoic and shit, I'm pretty sure they are a bit like we would have a laugh. Like, yeah, let's maybe arrange this. You know what I mean? But maybe not. Maybe it was just Shannon Briggs turning up places and just winding them up as much as he can. Yeah. Yeah. I really liked him actually towards the end of it. I hated him. Yeah, with me, it would probably be when he was fighting, or at least the Talker David Hay fight. Because this eye of fucking Uzdemir disgusting. Huge scar in that eye. Ugh. That is nasty. That is horrendous every time he moves. No, I think it's just a punch that I know of, but that's horrendous. Oh, just a wee standard punch. Just a standard punch. Horrid. Horrid. I think my one's fucking bad. Because it's got a bit worse on mine. 48, 47, 46. Is that where you are as well? Oh, spot on. That saves a lot of time. Sometimes I watch my brother or something like that, and so someone has going, "Oh, he's knocked out," and then the other person like, "Right, not got to it yet. I'm 5 seconds behind. Fantastic." What? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'll see if I can make yours full screen and my screen. Actually, let's pin yours. Yeah, I can make it full screen. That way, I can like see you. Yeah, cool.
Oh, apparently I can't. Apparently I can't do that. Oh no, we'll be with you very soon. But this is fun, isn't it? This is a good start. Welcome to the UFC 267 watch-along, Ethan. We are here with Gary, who's somehow not on screen anymore. I don't know how this has worked.
Stop pretending you're here with someone.
I know, it's just a blank canvas. What we would do is, because we didn't have this problem about 2 minutes ago, which is very annoying. But yes, Gary, let's talk us through what we're seeing so far between Özdemir and Ankalaev, of course. First fight on the main card, even. Good scrap so far. Özdemir's got a nasty cut on his eye, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting to the point that I don't even want to look directly at it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I love the blood everywhere. I'm a bit of a Just Bleed fan, but yeah, when you get one of the ones that when they like blink, it moves, it opens and winks at you. Not a fan.
Right, let's have a look at the tail of the tape for this fight as well.
If the blood's going into his eye, he's probably seen what you were seeing on the broadcast there.
Yes.
One side of the screen's black, one side is visible.
He's got the Michael Bisping treatment at the moment. Shout out to Michael Bisping. Let's see. It's crazy how before we did this, it was working fine, but now it just wants to give up.
I'll talk through the tail of the tape, even though the fight is also currently ongoing. The surprising thing about the whole fight, anyways, is that Ankalaev has easily been the better boxer so far, because that's Özdemir's bread and butter. Is there even a reach difference between them looking at? They've got the same reach and everything.
It's just Ankalaev has got massive legs on Özdemir. 5.5 inch.
He's not even used them, so he's not even tried a kick, I don't think. So it's all been boxing range so far. There we are.
And we have Gary from the MMA Causals making his first appearance on the channel. Bit of a delay, but for some reason OBS decided that it didn't want to show Zoom anymore. But we're here now.
So yeah, we're doing it now. It's weird actually. Mine is delayed on my screen, but I know it isn't actually delayed when it's going out. So it's like I'm off.
We're live. Yes, we are. Now, interesting. The big talking point here is the change of referee. If you remember, this was going to be refereed by a different guy who had a shocking evening in the St. Denis fight against, who was his opponent? I've just got in my mind. It's been a
It
long night.
was Eliza's
The
Zaleski
Santos.
Santos.
It was the
Something like
Santos who
that.
put an absolute pasting on him for 15 minutes. After there was a turning point in the second round, probably halfway, where you just saw St. Denis didn't want to be in there anymore. He wasn't offering anything. He wasn't attacking. He wasn't defending himself intelligently. He was just being stood there as a punching bag. But he was, when them fighters just show an inch of heart and the referee goes, all right.
Yeah.
But this one was so bad that the referee got sent home for the night.
I know that's. I usually am not too bad with it, and also this went against a lot of conflict I've got myself usually, and that I'll always quote the old Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin one where everyone said it should have been stopped, and then I'm like, but Brock won, so obviously it shouldn't be stopped. This was a weird scenario because at times, I don't know if it's St. Denis, St. Denis, maybe I'm thinking too much of Red Dead Redemption. At times it looked like he was landing a few good shots back, and you're like, if he KO'd him, does that then go against what I'm thinking usually? Because then it shouldn't have been stopped, mate. I don't know. It was a weird one anyways, but all of his decisions, the fact that Benoit said to him, I can't see, and then he just went, yeah, I don't care, go out and fight.
Yeah, we're laughing about it because it's something that is rarely seen in this day and age with the refereeing. But it was so poor. The fact he didn't even bring the doctors in, he said he couldn't see from his eye. He was talking to his coach, because I'm pretty sure he was in that corner or outside the doctor when it took place. And the fact that neither the referee or the coaching team thought, actually, we might have the problem here. Let's get him some assistance, give him the 4 or 5 minutes and let him see if he can continue or not. But it was absolutely shocking.
When they were going out as well, he looked at the referee and went to him like,
I can't see.
Yeah, I'm telling. It seemed like as well, the worst thing as well is, I think I said it on Twitter, it looked like he was saying to the referee, I don't really want to fight. I can't see. Like, I might die in here. I might go blind or something. And the referee's like, no, I'll keep fighting. So all of that heart you saw was probably him going, man, I'm going to die. I need to punch back or I might die.
His body language was that of someone who didn't want to fight, where Brock Lesnar, you knew when he came out in that second round.
Did they not give each other a little smile, actually, I think, across the cage as well? Brock Lesnar
winked at him. Was almost like, he knew he'd done it. And Brock Lesnar was like, yeah, I know you're empty too, let's go. Whereas it was like it was the
Look
reverse
at
of what happened tonight.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Are you mid-round, are you?
The end of the round.
Okay. Yeah, we just had
What,
a
have
little
you
brief
fell
intermission.
behind?
No, we just had a little brief intermission from Chick-fil-A on my very legal stream. Nice.
Yeah, maybe it's the difference between BT Sport and
ESPN Plus, the good old favorites.
Yeah.
What do you make of these earlier cards? Obviously, the UK and European market has been spoilt this month with the earlier fight cards, but this one tops the bill, doesn't it?
Fucking heaven. As well, after this as well, there's a good chance that I'll be going out tonight, do a Halloween out and stuff. I can't go out after a UFC usually.
Well, unless you're 6 a.m. Going out at 6 a.m.
And then even then, I don't know if I will be going out because this is what I've got going on at the side of me, ready to open.
Oh, he's a proper Conor McGregor fan. Look at the proper 12.
Yeah, I've never drank it before, and I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I knew it was coming on the video, and I was like, that'll be interesting. So I don't know what you usually drink with whiskey as well. So I've got a selection of 2 drinks. I don't even know how to open it.
Yeah, I had proper 12. It was actually all right. I'm not a big whiskey drinker myself. It was nice. I usually had it with Coke. Obviously, the hardcore whiskey drinkers will tell you can only have it straight or with a cube of ice and some water.
Yeah, but I'm not 45, so I'm not a hardcore whiskey drinker.
Yeah, me neither.
And also, to be fair, I'm a little pussy when it comes to fucking straight drinks and stuff like that anyways. So my selection of drinks, my first random one is red lemonade, which you can get at Morrison's. It's an Irish drink. It's in the little Irish section. So I'm going to give that a go. And then if I don't like it, then I'm going with Dr. Pepper as the mix.
That's not a bad shout. Dr. Pepper. I
thought he'd be safe, I think, so.
They are safe options, I think. With Dr. Pepper, wanted to go down a treat. I did find Copperberg has this rum. It's like a mixed fruit rum. And I found it goes very nicely with the purple Fanta.
Yeah.
The cherry
I
Fanta.
don't think I've had any fancy Fantas. I think I've only ever stuck to the orange.
It's nice. The
My
black currant
girlfriend's
one.
a fan of the fruit twist one.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with a Fanta. They got the lemon, which seems to be a holiday tradition between British people. You can only have Fanta Limon when you're out in the continent for some reason.
Out in the continent.
Whether it's Spain, France, Italy,
Is
Fanta
that
Limon
like when
seems
you
to come out.
go to a McDonald's in Spain and you can get like a bottle of beer and some cheese and chips or something like that, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. So
Doesn't
Ankalaev won
smell
that
nice,
one.
but
Was it at 30-27? I'm guessing it was.
what, sorry?
Ankalaev picked up the win in that fight against Özdemir.
Yeah.
7 straight wins for him now. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Fantastic performance from him. Although I did miss half of it because I was trying to find a definitely perfectly legal stream. So we move.
What is it you do with whiskey? Do you like swirl it around a bit and then smell it for about 5 hours, don't you?
Yeah, you need to leave it on the side for a week just to age.
There's some good caramelly notes and there's some oak in there and
Damn, you read the label well.
oh well I'm here. I had lost my little earphone thing that I was going to do because I had a couple of beers last night as well, and when I woke up it was gone. And I found it today. I found it today in the oven.
In the oven?
In the oven.
Pizza. Someone had pizza and left their headphone.
Like, you know, you've got like the seal in the oven, so it's fallen down, so it like must have fell on the front and then rolled down to the bottom, so it never went into the oven. And I'd had the oven on for ages, so luckily it didn't melt or anything. Yeah, that's an interesting place to find an earphone.
Hey, it could be a lot worse. It could have been worse. But I've just invested in some Beats buds because the wire on my Apple headphones keeps it just keeps going. Well, actually, I think it might be the iPhone charging cable little port as well, which the headphones go in. So basically, I've just gone for wireless earphones now, and I'm worried about
I
losing.
think these ones are like 25 quid I got off Amazon or something like that.
Show off.
They're pretty solid, mind you. They've been good so far. They'll probably cut out and they'll need to switch the headphones, but
Let me get this tweet out. Let's see. Hopefully.
oh yeah, I should probably tell people we're doing this, shouldn't I?
It's alright. We're still learning here. This is the first one. Usually we're hanging out our asses at 4 a.m. for these main cards to start. But to quickly
there we are.
To run down the prelims, of course, we did have a mank on the card, a British guy on the card, Leroy Murphy against Makwan Amikani. They keep trying to feed him these wolves, but he keeps coming on the other side of it. He's now Leroy Mazadal.
That was outstanding. That was outstanding as knockout.
It's crazy what he's delivered. He's never fought on home soil. He's only ever, well, I say home. He's never fought on home soil. He's only fought in Abu Dhabi, which is now pretty much home soil for him now. But he's 2-1 draw or 3-1 draw now in Abu Dhabi. Absolutely phenomenal what he's done. 11-1, and he's flying the flag pretty well for us now.
Sorry, I'm just pasting it out on the side.
It is what we do. It's what we do here. We take our time with things here. We're not ESPN.
Yeah, we don't have a guy on the side that's doing this. Right. Did you put it up on your Twitter page?
I should have done. It should be up by now.
This will be when I find out that I don't follow you or something like that.
I mean, that could be possible.
It's on your page, but I don't have any fucking notification about it. What did you break? Yeah, I know.
There we are. So, what? I guess this week we've got tonight we've got Jan Blachowicz versus Teixeira, but we have got back-to-back pay-per-views. That is, I think it's the first time in a long while, at least. I haven't got the exact time off the top of my head. But we're getting treated this towards the end of this year, aren't we? We've got obviously Colby, Kamaru 2, and then ending the year we've got Cory and Oliveira closing out the pay-per-view calendar at least anyway.
Aye, for sure. And it's everybody keeps complaining about the little weak fight night cards. I would love it if they keep this strategy up though. Pack out the pay-per-view cards and then do all the other little build-up ones. Obviously, there's what drinking does to you when you're on something. Obviously, we are in the UK, so we don't have to pay for the pay-per-view, so fair enough. Like, we have it easier there. But at the same time that because you've got the big one, you've got something to look forward to. And if you are busy some of those weeks, just make sure you hit the big pay-per-view one and you'll have a great card at the end of it.
Exactly.
Pick and choose what you want to watch.
I think it's good business from the UFC as well, because obviously their sort of their model at the moment is Apex fights are pretty much empty, although it looks like they're bringing in fans or been bringing in fans the past probably 2 months. But they're free. I was looking at Max Holloway tickets are probably about $3-4 grand to get into the Apex. It's very exclusive in there.
Yeah.
So that is their model so far is pack out the pay-per-views. Let's get, let's say 1 million pay-per-views on each pay-per-view. Make sure we get our money back there. Put as many stars as we can on that card. And let's say the main card or the fight night cards, you usually get 1 or 2 standout fights. Now, obviously last week we got Costa versus Tory, that was standout. And obviously the prelims and maybe up to the 3rd, 4th fight on the main card can be, you probably would find them on an early prelims or on the prelims or fight night regularly. But I enjoy it. It's a smart model from the UFC for now. I reckon it probably changes next year when they start visiting cities and countries and start going abroad to fight nights. But it also allows those guys that are on the fight nights to shine a little bit more. Otherwise, they would have 3 or 4 other competitors on that card that they'd just be blocked out by the media, by the fans. They wouldn't get that extra 50k bonus that they probably would have got in the last 2 months.
Aye, for sure. Whoa, Hamzat's fucking jumping about. So much for not having any lungs anymore.
He just found all his lung capacity in the warm-up. Let's talk about that, actually. Hamzat Chimaev had a fantastic 2020. Absolutely blitzed through his opponents. And obviously, he caught COVID in, February, I think it was?
I mean,
maybe
I've already called
January.
out Kadyrov and my channel. Do you want me to do it in yours as well?
This is live. That's right, allegedly. This is why it's Sam fired.
It was a wreck of it. Like, he couldn't. Him and Leon Edwards both got COVID and both seemed to hit the bad one. That apparently Leon Edwards lost loads of weight and everything. Kamzat couldn't train for ages. So, yeah. Did you see the whole weigh-in debacle with him as well?
Tailgate Part 2. 171 down to 166.
The weirdest thing is that he made weight as well. That's the most fucked up bit. Because he goes onto the scales and he's holding the towel, but he clearly couldn't have been putting his weight on it because he goes in half a pound over. Then the next time he comes in the scales, he's 5 pounds lighter, holding the towel. Everybody knows there's no way you drop 5 pounds. You haven't done that big of a shite, mate. And then he comes back out. It comes back out, and then they make him put his hands up in the air when he weighs in this time, and he makes weight. What? How's that happen?
So he didn't need the towel at all?
Yeah, how did he make weight?
Oh, it is crazy. Right, it's crazy.
My first ever drink a proper 12, so let's see.
Let's get a proper
if there is a whiskey connoisseur, whatever the fuck that word is.
There's so many.
If there is a whiskey, if I am like, this is Megan, I don't like it, I'm not dissing Connor's whiskey. I'm just a little pussy and don't like whiskey. So that's probably where.
Just don't go into any bars in Ireland or in Dublin, will you?
Don't taste it at all. That's fine. I can handle that.
I think that's been the general consensus with Proper 12. I didn't mind it. I had to get used to it. But it seems like, well, I guess it's a stick to bash Connor with. If you dislike Connor, which at the moment you're probably within your right mind to do so, that you automatically discredit anything that he's created. That shit.
It's the worst thing. He's a dick, and there's so many things to criticise him about. But if the thing you're picking is his whiskey isn't good, that's the most embarrassing shit you could ever pick to like slag him off about. You can do better than that, Trips. Go on.
Forget he's assaulting people in public and etc. and beating up DJs and going after Machine Gun Kelly, which is all absolutely bonkers. The weird thing was, right, COVID happened, and he obviously thought Cowboy, and he had a relatively good 2020, a positive 2020. That's especially in contrast to what 2019 was for him, because that was a nightmare. And obviously there was some serious things which we won't be going into, and because we don't know the full ins and outs of it. But it seems like he's undone all that work. And I swear there is something between him and John Jones that they just go, right, you be the bad guy this week, I'll be the bad guy next week, and we just see what we can create. They're always going back and forth. At the point now where they're going at each other, or they're going at the same time. It's like they're trying to one-off each other. It's crazy.
Yeah. Bunch of dickheads, really. I've just noticed that Andy's in the little chat there said he's here for the tenant, so I've delivered. I've got the empties here sitting, and that's not the 4 that I had before I started. And yeah, I've never had a Scottish whiskey. What's Glenfiddich? Is that Scottish or Irish? Probably Irish, but yeah, that's as much as I know about whiskey.
Okay.
Maybe a Jack Daniels when I was being a hipster in uni.
Jack Daniels wasn't too bad. It's a good cheap option. It's a good
Also,
safe option.
whiskey doesn't have an E in it, so sort your spelling out, Andy.
Right, we have got a fight going on right now. So let's
we break it down, we talk about it, isn't it? That's how we do this.
It's how we usually do on a watch long. But yes, this is what I do my previews before the fights by myself. No, I usually mess up on my own anyway. But yes, we've got 18-6 against 9-0. You forget just how inexperienced Chimaev is. It feels like he's been on the scene about 2, 3, 4 years, but he only made his UFC debut a year ago. He's coming against Lee, who knocked out Ponzinibbio back at the start of this year. It's a crazy fight, isn't it, that he set up for Chimaev? Especially, he is just coming off the back of having a serious case of COVID. They've just thrown him in there with the wolves.
Yeah, and the fact he was originally going to fight fucking Leon Edwards as well, like that just goes even more to it. But fair fuck still, man. He's a badass for even taking the fights. Like it can be a bit cheesy, and a lot of his fans I wasn't the biggest fan of and stuff like that. But at the same time, like the guy is accepting these fights. -600 favorite is mental, mind you.
Do you think that's a COVID thing that DraftKings have said? You know, he might not be at his full capacity, and the fact that Lee is an absolute monster and got double the wins he's got as well, and almost 3 times as many fights.
Yeah. But fuck it, it should be a good one here. I think we could do something, but then again, Cam's actually shown he's got some power in there too. When we did the podcast last Saturday, and then we're talking about how he doesn't have that good striking. We haven't seen him really use his striking. He's thrown one punch and knocked him out in the first punch.
Yeah, he knocked out Jared Mearshart pretty convincingly, and that was at 185. And I think that's where you go, oh, he's done it in 2 divisions now. He's knocked out a veteran in sport as well, but he absolutely folded Jared Mearshart.
Mearshart's a good scrapper as well. He's not bad at all.
He's someone you'd expect to have a war with for 3 rounds. Maybe not win the decision. He might get 30-27, but he's always going to be there. And the fact that Hamzat came in on 10 days' notice and just flatlined him was something that was quite worrying. And I think the Leon Edwards fight is because more so the UFC either don't like Leon Edwards or two, they were trying to make him a star with the Hamzat Chimaev star power that he'd created as well.
He did get him down.
Jesus Christ. Okay. He's picked him up and carried him around the octagon. Okay, this might not last long. Do we leave?
Good to see you, Peter, in the chat. What's happening, man?
Good to see everyone.
If we were picking back in the day, I would obviously still be the champion of the old website we used to do picks on. So
let's get your predictions down in the comments down below. Chimaev or Lee? It's a good scrap for Chimaev. The fact that it's a ranked opponent that he's fighting as well. I think he might go up these rankings pretty quickly if he is as active as he was last year.
I'm interested to see how his stamina holds up because I haven't really seen him go that sort of distance.
Well, his strength
so
seems
it'll be good to see. Yeah. Also, when they were doing a little stare down, how big is Lee's head? It's like the size of Chimaev's entire body.
Yeah, it's not kind, is it? It's not kind to him.
He's like Littlefoot Silva.
What do you make of Chimaev saying, I'm going to eat him?
Okay. Whatever they want to do in their own time is up to them. I mean, some people have extracurricular activities they do with each other outside of the cage. And
yeah, this has been one-way traffic so far, hasn't it? In the favour of Hamzat Chimaev taking Lee up against the cage, looking very strong in the clinch and, throwing some heavy ground and pound up against the cage at least. Yeah.
Oh, getting some punches in at least.
3 minutes 16.
They're a little small, mind you, so.
He's taking it back. Lee's done pretty well there, just to hold him off for so long, but it looks like Chimaev's definitely trying to get in there.
Chimaev, it looks like Lee is doing pretty good. Yeah, and he's flattened out. It looks like Lee is doing good, but when you just actually break down what has happened so far, he's definitely not doing good. Think it's going to get finished here?
If this definitely wasn't in the game plan for Lee, was it?
If Lee can get up though, Chimaev has really unloaded everything he's got to try and get the finish here though.
If we still
it's over. It's over. He's
it
under
over,
the
is it?
chin. It's clear as it gets. Oh,
He slipped out. Oh, I'm a couple of seconds behind
went
you. I've
pam to
seen him slip
pam.
under that chin. That was brutal.
That was so slick. That little.
That's the thing, though. If you look at Chimaev's record, he's very good at finishing people, but it's not like he only knocks them out. He's got a couple of submissions on his resume also, which are pretty phenomenal too. And obviously,
Man, what is keeping him in there?
does that other referee come back in, does he? But no, he's got a darts choke in there. He's got,
It's looking like I'm just not. I can breathe. Oh no, he went. Yeah, he's out. Oh, what a win for Chimaev. That was outstanding.
That's a big win as well, because Leo's coming into this fight with a lot of hype from obviously Ponzinibbio win, which was correct to be given him. He came with a lot of respect, and Borza just put him away there. So maybe that Leon Edwards fight would be a little close.
Yeah. Who knows? The fact that he can take the fight down that quickly, fuck it, man. You can't really get much better than that, can you? That's exactly what he wanted to do.
The thing is, obviously, maybe we don't know the career-lasting effects that Cody would have had on him, but it'd be interesting to see what happens when if he does get taken to 2-3 rounds and later on that career, because it's coming where he's going to be given championship rounds, and how that will have affected him, or if he'd been able to, for want of a better phrase, train that out of his system by then.
He's a little bit like what a grappling version of what Uzdemir was at one point in time. He's finishing the fight so quickly that it is kind of hard to see some of the questions. Peter, I'm pretty sure that I might have predicted Lee in that fight when I talked about this event. So to be fair, you might be better at picking fights than me. Okay, all right.
My picks have been all good so far.
I can't even remember who I picked. I think I was really hungover on Sunday when I did the pick. So
the Rivas win might have been here or there. I didn't properly watch the second or third round, but that was domination from the point that Chimaev took his back, lifted him up, took him up, a couple of steps across the cage, and then just had him on the floor for the remainder of that fight. But that's an important win, an impressive win as well.
Who do you think he's getting next then? We're talking top 5 or? We was ranked 11 there. Luque, I think, is going to be fighting Nate Diaz from the looks of what was happening. So it'd be hard to get him to fight. I think Diaz maybe has moved on to Tony Ferguson now, but
it's interesting that he's on the last fight of this contract, and Dana came out and said that Tony Ferguson wasn't in the wings, but they're working on something for Nate Diaz, which might be it is Tony Ferguson. They just don't want to announce that yet. But he's just defeated number 11. You've got Jeff Neal, Bilal Mohammed, Neil Magny. I would say give him the loser of Masvidal Edwards.
Yeah, not a bad shout. Sometimes I'm a little weird sometimes with the idea of matchmaking someone that's off a loss against someone that's on a win, because it does take away, like, if the guy who's off a loss wins that fight, it's not like we're going to be seeing the loser of Edwards and Masvidal fight for the title again anytime soon. So now if they win again, that means you've lost them. They're not a title contender. And also now Chimaev is out of the mix, you know what I mean? So
that is true. Do you give them Wonderboy? Wonderboy's free at the moment, I think.
The bets that I had on tonight are long gone. So I had St. Denis or Saint Denis, whatever the name is, Benoit. And it's weird because I've known him for ages, so it's weird I can't.
Were you in the referee's ear? I think we found it out. You had a bet on Saint Denis. You was in the referee's ear, weren't you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the fact that I was thinking, I had him, Lee, and Hooker as a £2 free bet, and if they won, I was going to get £85 out of it.
That's not bad. I've got 160 to 1 bet on that at the moment, which was a free 1 per bet off Ladbrokes, and I need Volkov, Hooker, Sandhagen, and Blachowicz to win.
I've got a tenner on Blachowicz to win by knockout, and I get 25 if that wins.
Be interesting to see who he calls out.
What, sorry?
Be interesting to see who he calls out. The interesting thing about Amanda Ribas was she didn't have a call out. She said she wanted to get something on her chest, but she invited everyone to go watch an interview with the press, which I thought was something new.
I'm just waiting to hear who he does call out.
Yeah, I just got the audio. Hopefully no one can hear it, otherwise UFC won't be too happy with me.
He's mad at Dana for not coming to the fight.
Really? Wait, where's Dana at then?
He's not at the event.
How?
They said on the commentary earlier about the whole referee being a dickhead thing.
Oh, so Dana left.
They said they're lucky Dana wasn't there.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Yeah, they're very lucky Dana wasn't there. I mean, it sounds like Mark Goddard sent him home anyway. Mark Goddard seemed very pissed off, and he seems to be the head of the refereeing association, which is probably the right thing because he's one of the best in the business.
I think now that his like hype is kind of like eased a little bit, Chimaev, and I don't think it's going to pick up like it did before. I think I'll probably be like one of his biggest fans going forward now. I just started to hate him because his fans just got so insufferable. At least now it seems like all his fans are more Hasbulla fans instead. So, fuck, I was the first guy to mention him. I was the first one to mention him on the podcast. Oh, on the episode.
Drink if you say Hasbulla. So,
that's a good idea, actually. Doing a live watch-along drinking game every time something happens.
See, my bet tonight is Hasbulla puts the champion. I haven't got a drink here, so that's unfortunate.
I've got a few. Do you want? What am I doing? I've got my tenants here.
Pass one down.
12. Yeah, I'll hand it through the screen. Here you go.
Yeah, thank you. Something I was trying to.
The translation didn't work out.
It's the Scottish to English border, you know. It gets weaker as you come down the country. But I think they said they were going to do something special with him, and the fact that they said on the broadcast it was been exclusive or some sort of special presentation. I have a funny feeling Hasbulla's going to wrap a belt on one of the champions, whether it's the co-main or main event.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And the fact that Dana's not there to do it, who's always there to do it.
It probably won't be, if they do it at this event, it'll probably just be coming in and like announcing Makhachev if he wins or something like that, maybe.
Maybe. It's interesting. It's interesting watching him, what he's done all week, because he's punched about 3-4 UFC legends this week. I
hate it. I hate all the memes. It's so embarrassing and shit. But the idea that he just meets a new person and the way he says hello is to punch them in the face. I do like it. I can't lie. That part I like.
I'm pretty sure everyone that's seen him as well thinks he's about 10 years old, 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realise that he's a 20-year-old guy.
Is he 20? Yeah, I didn't know if he was
19,
older.
20.
I thought he was like 40.
Oh, he might be, but I think
he's got the mannerisms of like a 40-year-old, though.
Which, to be fair, in Russia, is probably a 20-year-old.
It's just a hard life out there. By the time you get to 20 in Russia, you're basically 40 anyways.
I think that's how the maths adds up. Now we've got
it's like, you know, the way we count in dog years and stuff like that. We've got Russian years in there as well.
2 years and 1 English English year. But no, it's crazy that the absolute Dan Hooker was saying it himself. He's had more notoriety because Hasbulla called him out than he has throughout his entire career, and he's thought that's a Dustin Poirier.
It's just that I think Hooker's quite a big social media guy as well. So I think when he goes online, he'll see everybody on Twitter talking about Hasbulla and stuff like that. So it will feel like a big push. The thing is, it's hard to, since we are big, well, I don't know about yourself, but obviously I'm big on Twitter and stuff. And I don't mean big on Twitter as in I have lots of followers. I mean big as in I'm on there every fucking day. But you forget that it's just the smallest little encapsulation of what the fan base actually is, you know? There's so many people that just are coming and watching fights that have nothing to do with the internet community. So,
there's gonna be there's a lot of people. There's probably a lot of people today tuning to ESPN Plus for the first time just because it's on a Saturday at midday in America, and it's free to the public.
Mm-hmm.
But
people, the thing I'm always jealous about the Americans as well. There was something that I was almost not going to be on here a week ago, and it was only because me and my missus were looking into like pubs that might be showing it, because we'd never get that opportunity. You might have a little bit more in England, because I know that, well, at least it's obviously a McGregor card, but I did watch the McGregor Khabib fight in a place in Nottingham till like 6 a.m. But I don't think anywhere would stay open in Scotland till that time.
Yeah, I think I think we're a lot behind as well. Unless your name's Conor McGregor or you fight in Liverpool or fight out of Liverpool. Liverpool done a fantastic event for the Darren Till card where they had Till, McCann,
Yeah.
and Pimlet on that. They had I think some sports bar had it on in there. But again, unless your name's Conor McGregor, you don't get shown on in MMA in the entire country. And I saw that. Obviously, I went to Cage Warriors the trilogy, and it was. Obviously, I live in Manchester, but I'm from London, and it was almost embarrassing because we had on the Friday you had Dominic Wooden and Nathan Fletcher, and the Scousers absolutely blew the place out with their noise. The next day you had Sherrier and Paul Hughes fight, and you had the Irish
and the Ireland and French
on opposite sides of the balcony, creating absolute havoc. It was incredible. And then the next day you had Sam Creasy, Luke Shanks. Now obviously Sam Creasy is a Londoner, but it was just absolutely dead. There was no noise in there. There was nothing. And I think we still got it in England where it's quite. Liverpool have got.
I think it's because England is weird that like. England isn't really a country. It's a little bit like in America in that way. That when you do an event in America, people aren't going, "Oh, whoa, this guy from Texas is like American, so we cheer him."
Unless you fight in Russian,
Oregon, you know what I mean? Whereas like. In England as well, you're not. If someone's from Plymouth, wherever the fuck that is, and someone's from Newcastle, they don't really feel like they are. We are both like English guys. We'll chant England when that guy, especially like maybe if you're fighting the Americans and stuff like that. But even I do that. Even then, I'll always root for the UK guys against as much of a staunch independence guy and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, it's still I'm going to be rooting for an English guy over anybody from America or any other country just because we're all from here, you know. Whereas, but I don't think in England you have that same sense of like I'll be rooting for the guy from Edinburgh or someone from the Highlands so much more than I think you would root from someone from the other side of the country just because you are so city based, you know, or northern southern based, all that malarkey.
Yeah, that's true. There is. Liverpool have got it. I think Liverpool have got it now, where they have that. If you're from Liverpool, they got that community aspect. If you're one of their own, they back you till the end, really, and they will go everywhere. Ireland has it. It'd be interesting to see what happens if Paul Craig was to fight in England or in Scotland. We'll see what happens with him.
Scotland's just not got much going on.
Wales seems like it's bubbling away with who we got over there, Mason Jones, Jack Shaw.
I think if you did a big event in Wales, it would actually take off a bit. Scotland's just not got that. Like, I remember hearing every day who watched it at home saying the UFC Glasgow card was like buzzing. The crowd seemed amazing and stuff. And I remember being in person and being like, kind of dead here, to be honest. Just didn't.
It's the exposure. Like, again, the Cage Warriors one, that Saturday card. Yes, it was earlier in the day, so it was like 4 p.m. start time. It just didn't have that same feeling as the night before. It almost felt like they should have done Sharia Hughes on the Saturday as the sort of main, finale of the event because it was a fantastic trilogy event that he did. But I think we're still very much. Obviously we're on the inside in terms of we watch UFC and MMA almost week in week out, maybe at some point on a daily basis. So we've seen the growth of it. We've seen how MMA has grown over the past probably 5-6 years. Doubled in size, but it's still very small in the UK. And I think there's still very much a heavy boxing sort of market in the UK that hasn't quite translated over.
It's when I started with boxing before I got into MMA in about 2008, 2007, 2008 with the whole Mayweather Pacquiao stuff, and but Sky Sports only really showed the English stuff. They didn't really show any big American events other than maybe if it was a Pacquiao. I actually think I had to stream them every time anyways. So basically my entire knowledge of boxing was English boxing or maybe a little bit Scottish, but all like sometimes someone will put up a thread on Twitter and they'll be like, who's your favourite boxers of all time? And don't be a hipster in it and stuff like that. And I'm like, mate, I can only be a hipster because my favourite boxers are like someone that's highest title win was like the British title or the European title or something, just because they're the only guys I got on a week-to-week basis. So it would be incredible if that was more of a thing, if everybody made sure that they tuned in to the MMA card coming up. But I don't know. It just feels like the people that are MMA fans want to think that MMA is a niche sport. They want to think they're different. They are they're into this brutal cage fighting and shit like that. So like the fact that the fans want it to be like that means it's probably going to be quite hard to cross over into some sort of mainstreamy sort of thing.
I think it does eventually, but as you mentioned, no, you see it. If AJ's fighting or if Tyson Fury's fighting, every single pub or bar in the country is going to be open till 4 a.m. just to cover that event, especially. And we don't really have anyone. We had it with Bisping in Manchester because obviously the UFC screwed us over and put that card on at 4 a.m. in Manchester. I don't know why they did that. Obviously, probably due to the broadcasting rules that they had at the time in their contract. But it seems like it's in like Liverpool, as I mentioned, Liverpool got it. Manchester are probably building up a little bit more because we're getting a couple of fighters. But London, I feel like, is very, very much still Anthony Joshua territory. They're going to follow Anthony Joshua around whether he fights in Cardiff or Vegas or New York. But they're not going to go watch.
Even with the losses, do you think Joshua's still?
I think so because he's got that football fan behind him. He's got that football fan mentality where they go home and away.
Yeah.
No matter if they.
I think he'll probably win against Usyk if they fight again, and then it'll just be like it never happened. Same thing that happened with Ruiz. Yeah, they'll just go straight back to same thing. I hated that one as well. Like I haven't been following boxing for a while, but when Ruiz won, obviously I look into him a little bit after it, and his record's fucking brilliant. Like he's fought some great guys, and he only had one loss, and a lot of people said it was really debatable. So you're like. He was an undefeated guy at like 23-0, and he's been fighting some good guys for the last 6 years or something. So realistically, yeah, there's a very good chance. It's just because boxing is so like if Canelo fights the genuine top guy, the number one guy in the world, he's still such a significant favorite. And I think it's because it's so much harder in boxing for someone just to get caught and get KO'd. There has to be a bit more to it than that usually. Whereas the MMA, man, how many times have we seen somebody that should win a fight 99 out of 100 and that 1 out of 100 just comes with a punch?
And that's the thing with boxing. If let's say Canelo, obviously, well, the nature of it in boxing, you probably get 2 losses and then you get told you should probably retire now because you're done, you're finished. Whereas in MMA, you can lose 10 fights and still become champion. Jan Blachowicz, if he was fighting in boxing and Glover Teixeira, no way they're fighting for a world title tonight if that was boxing.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that these guys are coming out here, one's 42 years old, and genuinely, like, I'm not even, I'd say I'm a fairly positive fan, but I wouldn't just hype shit up for no reason. This is genuinely the most hyped fight I've had, like, of the year. The second Jan won, and then you had the talk of John Jones fighting Jan, and I hated it. I was like, it has to be Glover. Like, it's the right time for it. The fact that it delayed so long could be a problem for him because he is 42 years old. You know, like, all you need is 6 months to go from being like a title contender to being a 42-year-old man. You know.
To be fair, he doesn't quite look 42. Like, we've seen the likes of Woodley. Lawler.
I don't know. I'd believe him being not in the cage, right? But
yeah, not in the cage.
Every other way, he looks like a 42-year-old. He looks like an old man.
It's crazy. Obviously, this is the second.
Doesn't he? In the cage, even he has a little bit old man strength there, but he's got a little bit of speed about him, I suppose. I don't think Woodley looks old. I think Woodley's just as athletic as he always is. It's just that Woodley, his style just doesn't translate very well to any sort of sport.
And he's 1 foot out of the game. And that's in a few years.
And I remember, like, one I'll always say is, so I never liked Woodley in the first place. And the reason I originally didn't like Woodley is because my friend, when we played EA MMA, Tyron Woodley was in that game. This was when EA didn't have the UFC contract yet. They had Strikeforce and Dream, I think it was. And Woodley was in that game. And he would knock me out every single time, despite not knowing the buttons of the game. He just always won. So I hated Woodley ever since. Genuine grudge because of that game. But then obviously in MMA, he didn't have the best style and stuff like that. It's just also the problem that he's always fighting the guys that I'm more of a fan of. Damian Maia, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And then the fact that he's trying to, like, deny Maia a shot at one point and stuff like that. Like, it was hard to like him. And but when I did some scouting of the fight, because I was looking into betting for a while, and the Usman versus Woodley fight, when I looked at that and I seen Woodley always sits on the cage, he backs up, sits in the cage, he isn't the most active in the world. And I was like, Usman has this all day long. Like, he's just going to, I didn't even know he was going to wrestle him as much as he did, so that was surprising. But, like, yeah, What do you think of this one anyway? We've got Volkov versus Taibury here coming up.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the tape. Hopefully, here we are.
Tall, long guy versus tall,
Stocky
but you
guy.
don't think he's as long, as tall as he is.
It doesn't help when your opponent's 6'7" Marcin Taibury, who stands at only 6'3", but you got 33-9 against 22-6. Only a pound difference on the way, and 2-inch reach advantage there for Volkov, and obviously an inch and a half in the leg reach, which you wouldn't imagine that if you looked at the two of them on paper. You wouldn't think it's just an inch and a half.
Yeah.
Volkov is so massive.
Besides his back tattoo, I've been a big fan of Volkov for a long time, and I do think this fight might be set up for him. But we are talking heavyweight. You saw what happened when he fought Derek Lewis, beat him up every single second of the fight, and get knocked out in the last 10 seconds. Like heavyweight, it can happen. There's never a point in the fight that isn't. And Taibury hits hard.
He does hit hard.
Do you think he'll get him down, Taibury? Do you think he'll get a takedown on him?
I think if he lands on him, it's because Volkov's probably missed and Taibury's probably come in and hit him with an overhand right, just maximising and utilising his height, is obviously height advantage. That overhand right can always affect the taller guy, can't it? But I do think...
Oh, he's aggressive here, Volkov.
He's come out and already fought him, but I thought Marcin Taibury, and this is... I feel sorry for Walt Harris, but I thought Walt Harris hurt him very... He had Taibury on the ropes in that first round. I thought he should have won that. As I thought he should have beat Overeem already. Walt Harris is someone who he seems to be that fighter who always gets the guy hurt and rushes in too much and unleashes everything he has, and somehow the fighter survives. And once that happens, Walt Harris has nothing more to offer. He just needs to hold back a little bit more. But Marcin Taibury is someone who could definitely do some damage in this division. And if he beats Volkov tonight, he's top 5.
The reason I like Volkov is he's probably one of the very few MMA fighters that get to actually utilise their size. Like, you look at guys like Stefan Struve, the guy couldn't jab to save himself. He doesn't know how to be a tall guy in a fight, and other than if it hits the ground. And I think Volkov has always been so good at being a tall guy.
Yeah,
although he is getting in a fire a little bit in this fight. He's had a few more hooks and shit like that getting thrown. And usually I'm like, I don't even want to see Volkov throw a hook. If you want to do that, maybe an uppercut or something, just keep it straight, keep it long, keep on the outside.
That's the thing with the taller guys, right? You always suspect to the overhand right or overhand left and the uppercut. You're always suspected to those just because of the way that Taibury in this case has to get on the inside and really make the most of his work on the inside, because Volkov is such a good kickboxer, and he did some damage against Overeem.
He can take a shot as well, Volkov. He really hides it well and stuff like that. If he does get punched, he's really good at just rolling with it.
It'd be interesting to see the alternate universe where he doesn't lose to Derek Lewis.
Yeah. I don't think he was going to beat. I'd say Miocic is probably too good for him. I'd say DC would have really gave him loads of trouble, because DC doesn't.
DC would have taken
DC stays on your toes. Even when he's striking, DC just he's not even that good defensively, but he just stood on your toes the whole fight. Very like a less offensive Justin Gaethje. He's just on you all the time, whether he is going to take you down or not.
Yeah, he was a cardio.
Yeah, and he's got endless cardio, and that's Volkov does as well. That's one thing. If Volkov can make Taibury work really hard in this first round, then Volkov is going to have the cardio to be able to go that distance. And I don't know if Taibury will.
Well, Volkov's been in 3, 4, maybe even more scheduled 5-round fights now. He's been in those trenches, those championship rounds.
Well, he was the Bellator champion, I think, as well. So he had his title fights back in those days too.
But
big career on him, very big career on Volkov.
Hey, when you're 33-9, it just shows he always wins 3 on the bounce, and he comes up against a Derek Lewis who's played a Road Streak. Just outside of those, he always seems to be number 5 in the rankings. He never moves up or down.
Oh, did he just go down, or did he get hurt?
I don't know. What? Oh, are you on 140?
Just a little bit ahead of you. Do you want me to pause it
briefly? No, you're good. What time are you on? I think we're on...
Countdown, I'm at 27, 26, 25. Okay, so
I'm like 3 seconds behind. It was like...
I'll pause it, 3 seconds.
You're good.
Countdown.
125,
countdown where you're at.
124, 123, 122, 121, 120, 119. Are we still counting? We just counting down?
Yeah.
We're good. 17, 16. Yeah, almost like
Oh, I paused mine too long. Damn it, damn it.
that's
My
fine.
fucking thing.
That's all right. Where are you at now?
Oh, I can fast forward it. Mine is just, it froze up a little bit there. So, yeah, it's going a little bit slow here. What's your
Yeah.
time now?
I'm on 53 seconds now.
53.
Yeah, what are you on?
46, 45, 44.
Perfect. Perfect.
About the same?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
it was almost like when Curtis Blades went in against Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis just uppercutted him into oblivion. But obviously,
Yeah.
Taibury probably just slipped or couldn't quite get Volkov down. But Volkov is on top.
He might have just went for the takedown, and Volkov was like, "I'm stronger than you."
Yeah, it did have that sort of look to it.
When I've been injured for like 2 weeks because I'm too old to be fucking trying as hard as I was. But I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu for I did it when I did my couple of little fights in like everybody's a rookie, but I've done it in an actual class where people know a little bit more. And I'm like a big guy, like compared to most humans. Like right now, I'm probably like 230 pounds or something like that. So when we are doing these little grappling things, especially if you start on your knees, I feel it's so unfair. Like that exact situation. They're both underneath, or they're both like going for it. And I always feel like I've just like barreled down. I've got it down. No, I don't know how I got that there. I didn't use any technique. I am probably about 60 pounds heavier than you, mate. I'm now on top.
Yeah, it happens like that, don't you? You saw it. We see it a lot in the heavyweight division, especially when someone comes in at 265 and the other guy's coming at 240, 230. You just see, even though they're the same weight class or division, which they probably shouldn't be. I think there should still be a 230 division. But
I just realised that I hadn't even put this up on Facebook, so I'm putting it up now.
that's fine. I think it's all right. My computer's decided it wants to slow down for a little bit, but we are in between rounds now. Did you get that first round to Volkov? I think quite convincingly. He looked better on the feet.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. Easily Volkov. Easily.
Right, we are back.
Definitely.
Yeah, Volkov is the gatekeeper of this division, really, isn't he? Which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I'm always weird with the term like gatekeeper and stuff like that because it only takes like do I think there's no chance that Volkov can beat Ngannou? No, if they fought 10 times in a row, I'd say Volkov would win a good few of those times.
It's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, like it would have a really good chance against him. It's just a case of like you fight so many fights, and it's because he's fought so many fights is also sometimes a negative because no one is saying we have to see a rematch of Derek Lewis and Volkov again because he's not the most exciting overall fighter. He just likes to keep it calm and just touch up and keep it cool, you know. So the fact of that, then it means that he doesn't get a lot of rematches, and because he's fought a lot, he's fought everyone in the division. That means he's going to just fight guys that don't get him to the title a lot, kind of like Taibury.
Yeah, and as we go into the 4th minute of this second round, let's have a quick look at the rankings even. Because I do think this division's a little bit stuck in the mud in the fact that you've got Francis Ngannou at the top. We don't really know what's happening with John Jones at heavyweight. We don't know what's happening with his personal.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even factor him in now. Fuck knows we don't know what's happening with him in life, let alone.
Exactly. We don't know what's happening with Stipe Miocic. He probably deserves the trilogy against Ngannou, but it doesn't look like the UFC want to push it in that direction. Obviously, we've got to see what happens between Cyril Gane and Ngannou, which happens in that February card, which is going to be a cracking fight. I hope it's in Anaheim. I wish they'd put it in Paris because that would have been an absolute cracking fight for them.
Heavyweight just isn't that strong right now. Like I think someone was saying about they were talking about Fedor.
I mean, we're going to get Curtis Blades and Ngannou free next year by the process.
Somebody was saying about Fedor and like talking down a little bit of him, and I was like, there's a very good chance the way Fedor just fought against Tim Johnson, he could be top 10 in UFC right now. Like, do I think Augusto Sakai and Shamil Abdurakhimov are that good? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know, like, I don't think Fedor is definitely not going to be able to beat those two guys.
The thing is, when you put him up against someone out of top 15 like Tom Aspinall, what happens then? I mean, this is where we get
Aspinall. The fact that Aspinall isn't in the rankings is mad. It just shows he's not fought enough. But like, I think anybody in the entire heavyweight division can beat Derek Lewis. It's the problem.
It's
Derek
true.
Lewis can lose to anyone.
It's true, especially when you get a Derek Lewis that doesn't come in too confident. We saw it against Cyril Gane. He could have won that fight. He had all the skills to possess it. Obviously, Cyril Gane's a very technical, very skillful competitor. We've got this up against the cage right now. Taibury
was hurting him a little bit there.
Looks a little tired there, but he's doing the damage. Oh, nice roll there from Volkov as well. This is a good scrap to put in the middle of this card, isn't it? Prior to the two, three, it would have been the two title bouts, and obviously Makhachev and Hooker. It's a good little.
The thing when you put Volkov in a heavyweight fight, you know it's not going to be a bullshit heavyweight fight. There's so many fights you can make. Like, let's say you put Taibury in there against like maybe like Shamil Abdurakhimov or something like that. It could just be, maybe they've fought and it was amazing, or was a KO, I can't remember. But like, you could do a fight like that, and then it could just be this boring, like, heavyweights aren't that good kind of fight. Whenever you put Volkov in there, if he loses, you have to do something good to be making him lose. You know what I mean?
It's like when you fight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. If you beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, you come in with a good game plan.
Had to have done something good. Although I was scared his last fight, he did actually look a lot slower his last fight, Thompson. So I'm scared for whatever's next round.
It's up against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns a good competitor, and the takedowns were a bit of an issue, but I guess that's just a karate style against someone who's very aggressive.
Yeah, I think it was just his striking didn't look as sharp in the fight. Maybe he just got taken down quickly and just stopped thinking or something like that. Maybe it was just his mind was too on the takedown then, because he never gets taken down, Wonderboy. So maybe the fact he got taken down made him think, oh shit, let's defend the takedowns. And because of that, maybe then he didn't. But yeah.
Yeah, because obviously that went to a decision, and obviously he showed some good grit there. That he was never in a bad position, but he was never in good positions either.
We've had a head clash between the two of them now.
Let's see that. I think
Volkov's exact fighting style is how I fight when I play UFC 4. Exactly the way I do it. I back up the whole time. I just use jabs and straights. Yeah, just jabs and straights and stuff like that. Nothing. I don't try anything cool or anything fancy. I don't try any head kicks or any of that shit. It's just like let's just go out and go it.
Draw him in and get him out there quickly. That's the best way to be.
I don't have any tool once they're drawn in either. If they want to come at me, I'm fucked. If they just stand on me, sometimes you're like, oh, this guy doesn't want to like fight a tactical fight. He just wants to. To be fair, that's the same way I fucking fought in real life.
Just wants to.
When I'm doing sparring with some people, I'm like, I can be a little bit tactical and stuff like that. And then when I actually got in a cage and in a ring and did a boxing match, I didn't fight. I was in there to do a boxing match. This guy came over to fucking punch my head in. I didn't even know where we were or anything. What the fuck is going on? I don't even have time to think. Okay, maybe I'll land this jab and maybe I'll do this shit. He was just going, and I was fucked. I didn't know what to do with it. I don't know how to stop him from doing that.
Yeah, they say that when you, I heard Nick Pete from Fight Step saying you box a brawler, you don't want to box a brawler, or vice versa. You box the brawler, or you brawl the boxer.
Yeah,
and I guess that I don't know what your opponent. I guess that was his first fight. Also, he's coming in there probably shitting himself, going, "I'm."
We sat together because it's like a charity event, and we sat together at the little headgear. They were like cleaning the headgear between, because they only had a couple of headgears, so they were like little cleaning station and then putting them on. And then I turned over to him and he was like panicking. He's like huge as well. He's a big fucking 6'5" rugby player, who's ripped to shreds. And I was like to him, mate, calm down. Like, well, we're just going out there a couple minutes and then we'll have a pint together, you know? And I shouldn't have fucking said that. I should have been like, mate, panic all you want, because they fucking kicked the fuck out of me.
Yeah, you should have said, you're not going to have a good night. This isn't rugby, lad.
Should I just been like, everyone is going to look at you.
Yeah, it's going to be you by yourself and there, no teammates.
No one is giving you advice. You're in there by yourself and no one's going to help you.
But no, good guy.
He said
Gary.
After the fight as well, he's shitting it because like I did beat him every single sparring session as well. And he was like, oh yeah, I was so relieved because I thought you were going to battle me. I'm like, thanks, mate. Thank you for saying that.
That's the equivalent of when the victor picks up the loser in a tough battle in the cage.
That's the worst. Puts them on their shoulders and parades them around.
Yeah, it's more insulting than anything.
The funny thing now, I've just realised I'm probably really loud as well. and I should always pretend that I'm on a live stream because my girlfriend's always raging when she's like in the bedroom and I'm watching the fighting and I might be talking to my brother or anything, just speaking really loudly. So if I pretend I'm on a video or something, she's not going to come in and say, "Can you keep it down on your video?" I'm sitting in the room. So
would have been a lot difficult or a lot different had this fight been at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. And that's fine. I would be walking around the room holding the laptop up. I couldn't be sitting down at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm like, I'm still. Sometimes the weird thing is, my brother was watching the one that was earlier, like a week ago or something, and he fell asleep before the main event. And the main event was at like 12. And then I was saying to him, "Is it just like your body is like, oh, we're getting to the end of UFC. It's time to be tired now."
Quick nap. Yeah, I remember. There's a point where I'd fall asleep between maybe the third fight and the co-main event quite religiously, especially at like 5, 6 at uni. And then since I've got this new job, by the time...
But you're like 23 or something, you should be falling asleep early.
It's crazy. By the time I get to like maybe 1 or 2 now, I'm dead. So I fell asleep last week, probably co-main as well. And I woke up for the main event. But there's been times where I've woken up and it's the worst. Let's say you start the first round and you wake up and the fight's over and you have no idea what's happened in between.
Yeah. And then you're like, that's fine because I've woke up at like walkouts or something, so we're good. And then you just hear the commentary going, "Oh, that was almost like that knockout that happened in the last fight. That was the spinning amazing." And you're like, why did you say that? Just let me fucking watch this fight in its isolation. I don't need to know about the last one or what happened there.
That one didn't exist.
Yeah.
This is a new fight.
If I just wake up and I watch this fight, I don't need to spoil the last one. But nope, commentators love to say it.
We've got Volkov clinching up against it. This is a tough fight for both of them. Both of them.
He's really good combo. He's really pushed them though, Taibury, like constantly. But it's a lot of activity of Volkov as well. But it is a classic Volkov performance. He is such a professional.
This is the best heavyweight scrap you could have made for this card.
Yeah,
as you mentioned,
definitely.
We're not going to have someone who's going to wrestle and keep everyone quiet for 3 rounds. And we're not going to have someone who's just going to walk out and blow and gas through their opponent with ease.
It was either Taibury fucks him up, like takes him down or knocks him out in the feet. And it was going to either be that or Volkov does what Volkov does. And it's always kind of interesting.
He's wobbling around though, which is nice. But yeah, this division is at a weird point now where we've got
Well, worried about that. It does look like Volkov might be breathing a little heavy, but maybe his output has been higher because he knows it's a 3-round fight.
Maybe, and he has been clinched a lot. He's been clinched.
Maybe because I'm not scared of him for the last 50 seconds as cardio, but let's say it was a 5-round fight again.
Yeah.
I would be like, I don't think he'll really do that good in the 4th and 5th. But maybe he's just like, it doesn't like. Yeah, but I know it's a 3-round fight, so I'm trying to give it my all for the 3 rounds. Yeah, if it was a 5-round fight, I would have taken the second off or something. Interesting. Like... significant strikes went to Taibury in the 2nd round.
I think that might have been a takedown, or I know there was a lot of clinch work up against the fence, so I think maybe that's why Volkov is so drained. That 2nd round just took a little bit more out of him than he was probably expecting.
Huge significant strike advantage though to Volkov in both round 1 and round 3 so far. So
that back tattoo, I think incredible.
It's awful. Like it's not Volkov though. I think
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't really fit him, does it? And here we go.
Am I tripping, or was the end of the round bell thing really early there, or is my sound just off? Oh, it is off, right? Oh, yeah, actually, that is what that is. So the way I'm working here is I've got my sound is coming through these, but I am watching on my TV. So the way I've been able to do that is that I have a stream in the background of here, and I'm watching on my TV. Now I just realised I never paused this when I paused it a minute ago, so in a few seconds.
We've got to catch up.
The 2 of them sitting on the floor there at the end of the fight as well. This card, by the way, people are fucked on this card. You had the Duraev fight earlier on where they were absolutely wrecked.
This is a fight you don't want to come in and have... there's probably about 4 performance of the night bonuses that are ready to go out right now. Only 2 people can have them, which is where the fight night cards come in handy because I think it was the Rodriguez one. It was all 4 women that got performance of the night bonuses, which... one was fantastic, but those 4 in particular probably wouldn't have got a bonus on this card.
Yeah, it's a shame that like it's cool. It's amazing watching a video of a fighter when they get that bonus or something like that, and they are genuinely the most happy they've ever been. but it is still like a bullshit system where you can go, oh, well, you can get like, you won 10 grand, but you lost. But then we'll give you 50 because you had a draw. And it's like, or because you had a good fight. And you're like, that's not how bonuses work. I just got a bonus from my work there because I finished uni and I'm an apprentice. So like, there was a tied-in thing. Very nice to see your paycheck and you've got a lot of money added to it. But in that, it's like as if they went like, oh, you earn like this amount a year, we'll give you more as the bonus. So for that, that's not how that works. Bonuses are not more than your wages.
Hey, you've done a shit job this year, but by the way, you completed this task. Well done.
You know what? I'm actually saying that. I'm pretty sure my bonus was like 1,500, which is fucking amazing. And that is pretty much how much I get a month anyway. So I'm kind of talking bullshit, to be honest.
Basically, you got your win bonus. You've been going the whole month, every month, getting your show fee, but this month you got your win bonus.
Hey, it took me 12 years to finish uni, so I got a win bonus at the end of that. I'm happy.
And Alexander Volkov does come out as a unanimous decision winner. Where does that really put him? Because he's looking up. Does it put him up against Rosenstruck or Curtis Blades?
Exactly maybe? Where it puts him exactly where he always is. Nothing changes about Volkov's career that he won that.
It does literally nothing.
But that's what's good about Volkov, though. You know, it's just he is just there as one of the toughest guys you can get put against in that division.
Yeah, it is if you beat him, you're a title challenger. Fair play.
Yeah. And I think it should be like not just like gatekeeper and like that, genuine. Like if you can beat him, you're a title challenger. The problem is he has fought all the title challengers, and that scenario has already happened. And there isn't a lot of fresh title challengers. Be an amazing fight now that I think Volkov and Gane would be some fight.
It would be. It'd be interesting to see.
Gane's not fought somebody anywhere close to Volkov.
I wonder if Steve will take that fight with Volkov, or if he's just holding out for a trilogy and or retirement.
You'd have to think Stipe would win, but like what Stipe is good at is being like an MMA fighter in the heavyweight division, which not a lot of people are. And his boxing is just like clean and normal, you know, like he's not, most heavyweights are just swinging for the fences and stuff like that. Whereas like he isn't. So like Volkov is kind of the same. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Volkov beats Stipe Miocic in a fight.
He's got a little bit of height advantage. Obviously, Stipe is quite a bigger guy. And he's also a smaller guy for that division as well, isn't he? Stipe usually comes in about 230, 240 in that ballpark. Whereas Volkov might just come in at 250, 260.
I don't know if you have any overlay or anything that you do when this scenario comes up, but I'm going to go pee.
We can work something about that. We can have a look.
Or you can just look at my couch, one or the other. But I'll talk to you in a second.
Yes, we will have a short intermission.
I mean, I'm back. I don't know if this
Good
sound
time,
is on or anything.
Good time. We are back. Good intermission there. A little half time break there, I guess.
When I went out there, my girlfriend's put on her makeup to go to a Halloween thing, so she is like a zombie now, and it's pretty terrifying leaving the room and then being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't remember this being here last time.
a lot of fake blood and everything like that. I mean, realistically, that stuff just happens when you live in Glasgow, but at least this time it's just makeup.
Yes, that's true. Glasgow, yeah, that is. We got Dan Hooker, Islam Makhachev next. I actually really like
meat and bones now. We're proper in the meat and bones of the card now. These last three are the three that makes this card as amazing as it is.
It's the cherry on the top. We had a good main card, some good prelims, but yeah, we are in the, as you mentioned, the meat and bones of this card now. And the fact that Dan Hooker, I only thought a month ago against Nasrat Haqparast, had a good win there. Obviously, the whole story there was that he had to fly in on the Wednesday, make weight on the Thursday into the Friday for the weigh-ins, and obviously he came up with a very good win, 30-27, I believe it was, on the scorecards. Very good grappling on the night. And then a week later, he agrees to the fight that no one in this lightweight division seems to be able to agree to, unless you're Rafael dos Anjos, but then you just don't turn up anyhow. 3 times that fight's been made, 3 times it's now been cancelled. But Dan Hooker making the walk now. He seems to become the saviour of 2021, hasn't he? He had a poor start to the year, introducing Makhachev to the UFC in the same arena as well. But it'll be interesting to see what he can do against Makhachev, who is ranked higher than Dan Hooker, but ultimately not fought anywhere near the competition that Dan Hooker has fought.
Yeah, and it's I think he's always been a little bit like a bad guy. He's always been a little bit of a heel character of everything of his fights. Completely changed this year. He's like completely the good guy now. I think everybody loves Dan Hooker now.
He's become Donald Cerrone.
And that's the Donald Cerrone like strategy of making a career. I think maybe the downside for Hooker is he does like a fight, which might not be good for the Donald Cerrone career. Donald Cerrone's idea is let's keep everything a little calm, like let's not go too mental. Like it's almost like being a journeyman, except you're winning fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And I think Dan Hooker. I was going to say they had the similar records. In fact, they both got one's got 20 wins, one's got 21. But then you see Dan Hooker, he's got 10 losses on that record also. So let's have a look at the not that one. It would be that one. 20-1, 21-10. Obviously, he is 6'3". He's big for this lightweight division. He's got a couple more inches over Makhachev, is 5'10". He's got a 4.5 reach advantage and a 2.5 leg reach advantage. So he does come into this looking better than maybe. No, I think Makhachev would have put good work on RDA with all due respect to RDA, but Dan Hooker brings in something a little bit different. It's just whether it'd be interesting to see what Makhachev's stance is like. Because if it's anything like Michael Chandler, I think we can see Dan Hooker coming in a little bit, being a little bit danger here.
Big knees or something like that up the middle as well is what I think you're looking for from Dan Hooker. And it's just going to be, I think the question for this fight is it going to just be the Chimaev fight all over again? Is Makhachev going to use the fact that he's a smaller fight and stuff, get in on those legs, take him down, and then just smash him from the top? Or, especially as a kind of long guy, I don't really know if Dan Hooker is going to use that length of his legs and stuff to be a submission threat. And if you're not using that to be a submission threat, it can be quite hard to get back up to your feet if you're a tall guy. So that will be a struggle if he goes down. Is it going to be like the Chimaev fight where he just walked across cage, took him down, and then battled him? Or is it going to be a little bit more of a fight? Is Hooker going to catch that first takedown attempt? It's going to stay standing, and then you all go, oh, shit, right, okay. This is an actual fight now. Like, he stopped that takedown. Then again, we saw that with the McGregor-Khabib fight. McGregor's takedown defense was amazing in that fight. It's just that Khabib kept trying, and eventually he gets it, and then once it goes down for a second, it stays there. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think I like the narrative going to the side. Dan Hooker was coming out, a lot of people were asking him like, oh, do you think Makhachev deserves to be in this spot, or is he sort of like Khabib 2.0, is he invincible? And Dan Hooker's played it very cool. He's not someone who's gone to start going, oh, he's not putting him on a pedestal like it looks like the rest of the MMA has. Obviously, Makhachev's a fantastic fighter, 20-1, but he's beat Thiago Moises was his last win, and Drew Dober is in that as well. My question is what happens if Makhachev feints too much? If he stands that low stance, does Dan Hooker become too apprehensive of the takedown that if he gets his boxing? Because let's not forget, Makhachev is he's been called Khabib 2.0, but he's not Khabib 2.0. He's much more aggressive with his hands. He's got much better boxing than Khabib has. He's got more of an all-round nature, whereas Khabib was going to take you down regardless. And it doesn't matter.
The sad thing for Khabib is he actually just started to become an all-round fighter at the time he retired. Like, he out Gaethje.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just going to put so much pressure on Justin Gaethje that Gaethje is going to be so scared I'm going to take him down at any moment that I can do whatever I want. Kind of like Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva won. People forget Chael Sonnen fucked him up on the feet. Like, it dropped him, I think, as well, maybe. You know, same way Khabib and Conor. Like, Khabib is not a better striker than Conor McGregor. But when Conor's thinking takedown, you can land an overhand right on him then, you know. So could happen in this fight, definitely.
Exactly. I think,
but you do get them times that it's funny when you come into a fight and you see somebody that you have in your head that, like Makhachev, he is going to be such a scary takedown threat. You watch it and you're almost like, that's the advantage then, it's the grappler, because if he takes it down, it stays there and stuff. But then whenever you watch a grappler that just isn't as good as the opponent, and then the first couple takedowns get stopped, then you're like, shit, this guy doesn't want to strike, and now we are just in a striking match now. So he's in a world he does not want to be in, and he can't change that situation. So it is always interesting. And I think I predicted Hooker before it. Chimaev has now got in my head, and I think that's not going to be the case. I think Makhachev might just have his way with him. But I would like Hooker to win.
The one saving grace for me, we'll find out in the opening seconds of this, is that Hooker probably got the biggest saving grace in the fact that obviously all his team had to go back to New Zealand, but the one guy who stayed in Vegas was his wrestling coach. So he spent the last 3 weeks living with his wrestling coach and going to Syndicate MMA. And when you're fighting Makhachev, I wouldn't pick any other team member than your wrestling coach to be stayed with for a month. Just you two in the house together, probably looking at everything that Makhachev's doing, every other wrestler is doing, you know, and going. You probably sat down at the dinner table eating dinner, going, right, let's look at this position, let's look at that, and then let's go into the gym tomorrow and work on it.
I do think sometimes that, like, sometimes people can focus a little bit too much on the overall game. I think I would imagine.
He's already taken him down. He threw that right and he got taken down immediately. It
was overhand right to the takedown as well from Makhachev. I think he actually landed. Oh, is he going to mount already?
He's done the Khabib where he's wrapped up the legs, but he's not quite got that sort of leg triangle where he's got both those hookers. Hooker is a taller guy, so like he can get butterflies and stuff like that to maybe change it up a bit. The thing with Hooker is he's got good heart, and he's always in a war. He's in a war against Poirier. He was in a war against Paul Felder. He probably would have been in a war with Chandler had he not got caught so early on in that round. But he's definitely. Yeah. I was saying in my preview earlier, if you saw both of these fights on paper, you wouldn't think it's Makhachev who's the higher ranked guy.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised to see that he's ranked 5 now. Has he been bumped up another couple of slots or something?
So he's 5th and Hooker's 6th.
I know UFC like to do that, you know. And oh, you're fighting this week. That means you're a higher rank now. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we make the rules up as they go, don't they?
It was so a lot of people mentioned things about Makhachev as well, and the fact that nobody wanted to fight him and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, because he was ranked like 12. Why would Tony Ferguson, who's ranked 3, fight the ranked 12 guy? Of course they're going to turn that down. Same with Hooker as well. Hooker was too high ranked at the time. Now Hooker's 6 and Makhachev is 5. Of course Hooker's going to go, yeah, okay then. The fight makes sense then. Like, I'm not scared of you. I'm fighting better guys than you. Like, who do you be more scared of fighting? Like,
you're going to that Kimura. I hate watching these.
Is he actually going to get it?
That's filthy.
We don't see Kimuras happening very often.
I saw one of these.
Go for the full thing. Oh, shit. I think he's got it. He's got it. Oh, my God.
That was
Kimura. Fucking hell.
You know what? Fair play to Islam Makhachev. Because there was questions of him, can he do it against a top 10?
Amazing.
Can he do it against an elite fighter, like, you know, and he's just put it on him and absolutely decimated him. Luckily, Dan Hooker's not broken his arm.
Outstanding.
But he's definitely probably got some ligament damage, which is probably going to put
him. Took the fight down immediately and then gets, which these days is a pretty fucking rare submission to actually get, you know? And it's the ability to control that situation. Usually Kimuras just lead to like rolls and stuff these days, or just like sweeps.
He used to change the position. But
good defense attempt there. You see the way that Hooker grabbed his own hand behind his back.
Yeah.
So he's got his hand like here, and he's like getting up. So he grabs it with this hand. He puts that hand in, and then grabs it to try and pull it, but it just slips out. And
then Makhachev brings his leg over.
That was amazing.
Okay, that. And it is Hasbullah's just
run
in.
Off when Hasbullah ran in. Fuck actually, BT, we are in the same wavelength here. I don't want to see him either.
Yeah, he just run in there. He's picked him up like a toddler. It's like his son's just come in. It's like his son's
You're
just
still
run
watching, yeah? Have you still got all the...
They just cut
the
it
video
now from
feed and everything?
ESPN. They just cut it and put it onto Taibury. But yeah, that's
It's
impressive.
so weird that you're in America right now, isn't it? It's so weird that you just happened to move. You travel to America just to watch this card.
I
That's
know.
how
I
you
just
get
wanted to watch
ESPN.
I just wanted to see what a card was like at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a couple in the UK, but it's usually the ones in Singapore. So I just wanted to see a pay per view at in mid morning. So I thought ESPN Plus.
Oh, Dana's there.
Dana's just turned
Dana
up.
wasn't there. They just turned up, yeah.
He heard what the monstrosity happened earlier. And he thought, I better go to that arena. But I knew he was in Abu Dhabi.
My phone just blew up saying this guy tried to murder someone.
Oh, but that's a seriously impressive win.
Yeah, big time.
I
Like
feel
I
sorry.
wouldn't mind him fight for the title next or something like that, you know. And to be honest, right, something I've not really considered. So we are saying that Dustin Poirier is the number one guy of the division, or like a lot of people say that he's better than
A lot of
Charles
people say
Oliveira
he's
and
the
everything.
champion without the belt.
Yeah, if that's true, we didn't see anything from the Khabib fight that tells us he's going to be able to beat Makhachev. Then
That's true. That is true. I just love Hasbulla getting carried by Khabib in the background.
Yeah.
It's
Khabib's
just like
such a huge guy these days, isn't he?
Yeah,
Khabib is massive. He's not even like too fat or anything, but he's obviously put on a bit of pounds. But
he's eating that tiramisu. It looks like he's some. You can see he's been working out still. It's not like he's just giving up. He's still getting classes in that, but you can see.
yeah. He's not DC big. DC is fucking explode. Like DC still looks like a tank, but he's huge.
He's like, I'm retired now. I'm done. Let's eat everything we got.
Yeah.
Which I completely understand because he spent years trying to make 205. But I say try. Years making 205.
I know that's the thing. A lot of fighters do get quite fat when they're not fighting, and it's because when me or you are getting quite fat on a daily basis, they're fucking training their ass off through the years of the ages we are. So then when they hit like 40 or something, they're like, all that shit that I didn't do back then, I'm fucking doing now.
You look at Paddy Pimblett in between fights, counts.
Oh well, he's more like the Ricky Hatton style
That's true.
of it.
That's true.
You know, blow up outside the fights, cut it down.
We're just getting the replay now of this fight. That takedown was so impressive. And he immediately went for that arm. It's not like he was going for something else. He just knew that's what he wanted.
And then that step over the head as well, just traditional Kimura attempt.
I don't know what it is about Kimura's, but Brock Lesnar in WWE absolutely ruined my ability to ever look at Kimura. Because there was that point in Brock Lesnar's tenure in the WWE where he decided that he's going to break Shawn Michaels and Triple H's arms. And ever since that point...
when he holds the arm to a certain degree and then he goes like, and you think it's broken now?
But
it was a really good idea as well. He's got like the arm behind the back and he'll be out there and then he'll go like... And you think it's broken because it just happens suddenly. It's a cool idea. I like that.
But I must have been 14, 15, which I guess is still a reasonable age. But it's like, for some reason, that's ingrained in my mind that that's automatically what happens with a Kimura. It happened at Cage Warriors, the trilogies. Kimura attempt that was in deep, and I remember I was in a cage like there to my left.
Are you expecting that one motion to go like?
Yeah, I was waiting for that, but my instant reaction was look at the screen over there because if it happens, I don't want to have direct eye contact to an arm being snapped. But
the best one is the Undertaker's go plata that he would throw up the Hell's Gates. That was like it wasn't even like remotely good in any way, and you're like you could have done a little bit better. Actually, that was one of my things. So I'd never trained, although I did some like thing in Ireland that isn't a full, like it isn't a very good martial art or anything, but at least gets you to like do a few punches and kicks and stuff. But I watched constantly, like I was so addicted to watching fights and everything. So me and my brother got drunk once and then decided to have a little bit of a grappling match. And I submitted him with a go plata. And he was like,
where'd you learn that?
One, how the fuck did I do a go plata? And I've never been taught one in my entire life. And then two, he said it was the most pain he's ever felt in his entire life at that point. A go plata, apparently, the pain that your neck goes in as soon as you get it on. I actually almost got it as well when I did my little training for the charity fight. I think someone swept me at one point and I was in deep to the point, but I think I just got it onto his chin.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my shin under his neck, and then I ended up losing it. And I'm like, oh man, if I could have submitted something to a fucking go plata here, I'd have been the king of the world, man. It would have been amazing.
You go down in history for that. That's a top win. But we go to Makhachev. What is next for him? Do you put him up against Benel Darush? Maybe he was free.
I genuinely wouldn't be annoyed now if they put him against the winner of
Oliveira Poirier.
Poirier versus Oliveira set.
That's only it's happened December. That's
December,
the main event.
So I wouldn't be annoyed at all after a performance like that. But I'm cool. We'll fight for the title. I'm cool now. So I know the only reason Makhachev is actually popular now is people don't realize he's fought in the UFC for like ages. What? Sorry?
But shit, my bet's just gone.
How did you bet in Huckle?
Yeah.
I've still got my tenner on the main event at least. But the only reason he's popular now is because Khabib's gone, so people are looking for the new Khabib. That's the only reason Makhachev's popular now. He's fought in the UFC for fucking ages. People don't even know he's been KO'd in the UFC, I think it was like Alan Patrick or something like that KO'd him. I can't remember how. But yeah. But everybody's on his train now, and he's as good as he always was, so he's winning now. And I'm cool if you're doing a performance like that, I'm cool if they just want to replace Khabib with him.
Yeah, you just beat a top 6 guy with inside a minute and a half.
Yeah. He's ranked number 5 in the division. He's submitted in number 6 inside like a minute with a Kimura. Cool, man. Fuck it. Let's go for it then.
Yeah, because obviously, I mean, when you got Khabib Nurmagomedov, which some people do class as the greatest of the time, obviously he's probably top 5 or 6 maybe with just the 29-0. He might be in that
maybe
conversation.
top down. I mean, maybe.
He might be in the conversation, but when you got a guy of that caliber coming out and saying he is the guy, and especially when they fight in the same weight division, not like obviously you got Usman and Nurmagomedov, though they're in Bellator doing fantastic bits. You got Saeed and Nurmagomedov doing incredible stuff, but for some reason, because they're in the same weight class, it seems like there's a little bit more intensity put on Islam Makhachev, a little bit more stardust on there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also because his style, he does like the takedown stuff. Yeah, people think when they just see people from Dagestan that they all fight the exact same as Khabib. A lot of them aren't that good. Like, I do watch quite a lot of like fighters from Dagestan fighting in our promotions. By population, they're incredible. Insanely good by population. But I've still seen a ton of Dagestan fighters look really bad and lose a fight really badly. Like, it's not uncommon by any stretch if you watch the Russian promotion and stuff. That can easily happen. So they just have so many fighters as well. So everybody just thinks that Khabib is the way. Everybody's amazing. Everybody fights like Khabib and stuff like that. You look at Usman Nurmagomedov, he's more of a fucking kickboxer half the time.
He's more Usman than he is Nurmagomedov.
He's more of a kickbox jiu-jitsu guy. He's barely even fucking wrestling. He takes you down and then he immediately goes for like jiu-jitsu kind of shit.
Which, to be fair, I don't blame him for. Because if you're training with Khabib day in, day out and he's just taking you down, you're probably going to say, I'm not wrestling anymore. I'm just going to beat him up on the feet. And you're going to go down a different avenue.
Yeah. And a lot of them are like that as well. Khabib isn't just good like in the Dagestan style. Khabib is like a special wrestler. Like, he's so good at it, you know? And it's mad as well. Like, it's mad to get guys that aren't like... It's not that different from GSP, really, is it? Because Khabib's not an Olympic champion wrestler or anything like that. He had whatever his Sambo thing was and stuff. The one rant I'll give out about Khabib, though, that fucking kills me, and he actually got nominated in the World Awards of the Year for this as like the Good Guy of the Year award or some shit like that, is the fact that he didn't submit, he didn't break Gaethje's arm because his parents were there
instead.
Khabib has finished, I think it's 4 opponents with that exact same transition in his past. He's went for the armbar many, many times, and apparently he's just not really good at an armbar because he's not really finished any of them. He always goes for it. Sometimes he's been there for a while, but he always transitions to the triangle after it, and he's submitted all of them with that same transition. And then some of these, he's been trying to break that fucking arm for like 40 seconds or something. There's no way he was doing it out of like, oh, his parents are here, I don't want... No, it was just a case of, that is a great move that he does, and he's amazing at that move. And it's just a case that he hasn't really got to show it too much in the UFC because he's been too busy punching people in the head.
That is true. Talking about wrestlers, they just put the promotion up for next week. We've got 268 back in New York for the first time since the pandemic. We've got Usman versus Covington 2. First of all, do you think this is a rematch that had to be made? And secondly, do you think it go in a different way? It doesn't seem... Covington's been very quiet. Now, whether it's a press conference next week and he suddenly wakes up, there was a lot of bad blood going to the first fight. It doesn't seem like there's any of that going to this one. It seems both the parties have been very quiet.
Covington's been quiet for a while now, though. Covington's just left being off the map. I don't know if it's just that the media aren't sharing the shit anymore, or he's just being quiet. Like, I've just not really heard much about Covington for a while, which is bad for him because that's his whole thing, right? His whole thing is that he's a big mouth. So now that he's not doing that, to me, like, the only reason I'm not that interested in this fight too much is because it does seem like Usman has improved so much in his last couple of fights. And that's the only reason I'm not that interested, because I haven't seen Covington improve to that degree.
That fight against Woodley, and that was... He looked good in that fight against Woodley.
Stylistically, just the same shit.
Yeah, but we knew that Woodley wasn't Woodley. Obviously, it already lost to Usman.
He's going to lie in the cage, and Covington's a big pressure guy, so he's going to stand right in front of him. I don't think his striking looked amazing or anything like that.
Because obviously it was the rib injury that caused Woodley to stop as well.
He did what I thought he was going to do. I did think maybe Woodley could throw a few more overhand rights, and Covington doesn't have the greatest defense in the world, so maybe they might land, and then maybe there's a chance it knocks him out or something. But Woodley just didn't throw them. So then if he doesn't throw them, there's nothing really like... I didn't read into Covington from that, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Usman looks like he's so much better now since then. So, but if you just did an immediate rematch of that fight, I'd have been all in then, because that fight's a banging fight when it happened. Like, that fight was incredible. Covington looked great. Usman looked great. And it's because they're so similar as a style. Like, both of them are very close to each other.
And they didn't use that style at all in that fight.
Well, I think they both knew that the wrestling wasn't going to happen. Well, I don't know. Like, they've got such a similar style that when they face a guy with a similar style, they also do the same thing. That's how similar their style is, you know? The adjustment they make to fighting a guy with a similar style is the same adjustment. So the fact that two of them just went very straight punches, not a ton of hooks and stuff like that. A lot of like frequency of punches, so they seem like they're throwing non-stop. Both of them at the time maybe lacking a little bit of power, and both of them at the time maybe lacking a little bit of defense. I think Usman is going to have so much confidence coming into this, though, that he's not only going to have a better defense, because I think he's going to feel sharper the whole fight, but just the snap of his punches, I think, are going to be in a different level than they were back then.
Definitely. Obviously, he moved to Trevor Whitman's gym for the first match of that fight, wasn't it? So he's been there a year now, and you can see...
You always start whenever we talk, you throw out gym facts and shit. I know nothing about gyms for some reason. That's my grey there. I can tell you about all these guys that are fighting in fucking Ukraine right now, and the guys that are like out there. I don't know what gym they're training in, though.
No, he moved to Trevor Whitman, and obviously you're then training with Justin Gaethje, and probably one of the smartest minds in the sport at the moment in Trevor Whitman. And you've just seen it, how different he's looked. Obviously, he's coming off the back of 2 finishes now. Usman going into that kind of fight wasn't someone you go, oh, he's definitely good. He's a finishing type of guy. It was more so, we've seen the Woodley fight, he's going to grind you for 5 rounds. He's going to 50-45 you, 50-44 you, but he's not actually going to be in there for a quick night. And obviously, Gilbert Burns did clatter him in that first round, but then Burns said himself he got overexcited and pretty much exhausted himself. But Usman's got 2 finishes in a row now, looked fantastic. Maybe Covington's coming to this thinking, if I am quiet, maybe I can shock a few people, and then maybe get the loud mouth when I get my hand wrapped around, or the belt wrapped around my waist. But I do think Usman is a lot stronger of a competitor than Covington is right now, based on the work that we've seen to that fight. But as you mentioned, it's one of the best fights of all time.
If you get distracted, don't worry, it's just Sam putting all the thumbs up in the little chat that he created. My podcast host, great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for how did I get fucking stuck with that?
Oh, yeah. I love how Sam said, please go watch my podcast in his little post earlier.
I know, yeah. And I reply, what do you mean your podcast?
Man trying to get us cancelled every single episode at the moment.
Editing has to be done.
Who needs an editing?
Yeah.
Sam. But no.
I know. I'll start, like, the more I'm drinking and stuff like that, the more I'm swearing and all that stuff. I'm not going to fucking start going in. It's not going to slip up where I go, well, you know what? Let's talk about this person's gender, religion, race. You know, I'm not doing any of that shit.
No, not at all. But we can talk about Petr versus Cory Sandhagen. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about... This fight is a weird one. Aljamain Sterling obviously was meant to be fighting in that rematch. There's a lot of people thinking that he's the illegitimate champ because of the method in which he won the fight. I still hold that down to Petr Yan. Petr Yan threw the knee. It's not like Aljamain Sterling grabbed his knee and put it into his face and then said, actually, I can't continue anymore. It's down to Petr Yan's mistake. And both of these are very hungry. Obviously, you got Cory Sandhagen who lost that fight against Aljamain Sterling prior to the title fight. He's going to want to run that one back. But Petr Yan, obviously, is going to want to right the wrongs of that first fight. This one has a cracking feel about it. And it's weird how Cory Sandhagen feels so calm. It almost feels boring in a sense, but it's almost so boring that you can't stop watching when he had to promote the fight.
It's so weird that this is like, what is this, an interim title fight? And both of them are off of losses. That is interesting. Both of them have such weird, similar context around them, though. So you have the fact that a lot of people thought Sandhagen won the fight. I know me and Sam broke it down a lot in at least one of the podcasts. And judging wise, I did see how you could have gave it to Dillashaw. I can't remember how I had it at the time, but it was very possible that he won that fight. So it was a close fight. It was one of these situations where 3 rounds were close, 2 were clear, and the 2 that were clear were both to Sandhagen. So then you're like, it's hard for a lot of fans to get that those 3 rounds that are close, one of them didn't go to Sandhagen in the judges' minds. If you think that round is close, that means it can go either way. Yeah. And if you think 3 rounds are close, that means they can all go either way, you know? But regardless, so that he's coming off of that fight. And also, I mean, if you're talking real, like, fighting kind of shit, I mean, he hurt his opponent to the degree that his opponent can't fight now. And he can fight now. So who really won then? You could say the long-term winner is definitely Sandhagen. Sandhagen's now fighting in an interim title shot because he hurt TJ Dillashaw so bad that TJ Dillashaw can't take this fight right now. That's cool. And then you've got, obviously, Petr Yan. I think if they fight, there is a chance that Aljamain can beat him. I did feel like Aljamain had some aspects of that fight that he was decent in, and there were some aspects of that fight he really struggled with, obviously. I have also broke the seal, so I'm going to pee again. I know this is.
That's right. We're going to have to walk up to the co-main event. So
you can leave it on with just you can talk it through if you want, or you can do an interval and pee yourself.
Why do we have a little look at the Taylor tape? Not Makhachev. It'll be the co-main event between Petr Yan and Sandhagen. Obviously, we've got 15-2 up against 14-3. We've got a 4-inch reach advantage there for Cory Sandhagen. Both of them came in at 135 on the championship weight limit, and obviously. We've got a 3-inch reach advantage there for Sandhagen, and of course 2-inch leg reach advantage also. Cory Sandhagen about to make the walk, and it's an interesting fight. I guess an interesting one. Obviously, we see Sandhagen's highlight reel just get played there. The wheel kick against Marlon Moraes, and of course the stunning knee that he threw against Frankie Edgar at the start of this year, back in February. And then, you know, as Gary mentioned there, he could have beaten TJ Dillashaw. It could have gone either way. And a lot of people do think he's the winner, or was the winner on that night, and hence why he's fighting tonight for the interim title. But let's just see what he's been very calm, collected, composed, and that seems to be Cory Sandhagen's nature. It doesn't seem like someone who wants to be too aggressive, too brash. He's not someone who wants to be promoting fights in a non-authentic tone, which makes him probably more fun to watch. If you watched the Embedded, he was, you know, very monotone, very. I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but you don't get too much out of him. And maybe that's something he's done on purpose. Maybe that's something he's just naturally like that. And I think he's more naturally like that than it being a poor choice of gimmick, so to speak. But he's a phenomenal striker, and Petr Yan hasn't yet fought anyone of this sort of nature in terms of, you know, he beat Jose Aldo, beat Uriah Faber, beat Jimmy Rivera and John Dodson, but they're all very sort of smaller, stockier guys. In particular, Aldo and Faber, obviously, John Dodson's a 125 who came up to 135, or vice versa. So, I think I've gone with Cory Sandhagen for this fight. Make sure to put it down in the comments down below. Put your predictions, Sandhagen or Petr Yan. But I do have Cory Sandhagen for this fight as Gary returns. Have a look at the Taylor tape there. What do you make of the fight on paper, at least?
You're still talking? I'm kidding. It's a weird one, man. Like, just Sandhagen at this level might just come out and do that performance that makes you think, oh shit, no one is going to beat Cory Sandhagen. Like, it can happen. It's hard to say. I genuinely am struggling to even say. I want Sandhagen, I think, especially after the really embarrassing little that that Jan tried. They
you
did
see
a
it?
little stare down, and Jan decided to go like, "You're typical, like you're staring at each other," and then Jan goes like, and then Sandhagen's just
Doesn't move.
then
But I think
notice
that's
what
Sandhagen
did you
through every
do?
situation that he's ever been in his life. I think that's just his gear, and he doesn't leave that gear. Because I was saying, I was watching him embedded. He's so monotone that it's almost you couldn't script it. If it was a comedy, you wouldn't be able to script his monotone nature. But once he comes into that cage, he becomes alive. And I think because Petr Jan's not really fought anyone of this stature, not someone who's quite lanky, quite thin. He's thought very short, stocky guys than Aldo and Taibury. He put beatings on them, to be fair. But I'm expecting a knee or something here, similar to how Frankie Edgar
should happen. Yeah, I think you predicted that before, didn't you?
Yeah,
knee from,
I can just see a knee happening.
The height difference and everything. Maybe Jan does like a takedown and stuff.
The one thing that
it's really interesting. Why do you think this? Like, I know obviously we're in Yas Island. Why do you think they put so many Russians on the card? So I get the context of like, so see having Makhachev in the card. I get the idea of putting some other guys from his gym on because obviously Khabib's going to corner them. He's probably got a bit of sway with the back of UFC. He could maybe have went, hey, can make sure more of my guys are on this card so we can do all of it at one time. I can corner all of them. But like, you got the non-Dagestan guys, like the guys. Well, obviously, there's a very clear difference of the two segments. You know what I mean? You've got the Dagestan, very strict religious guys. Well, at least Muslim guys, let's say, because that's the religion that they are. All the big group of that segment of all the fighters. You've got Makhachev, you've got, I think, Gamasov on the earlier card. Zubair and things like that. So all the guys that can be cornered, and then you've got guys like Volkov and Petr Yan, who are the other side of Russia, probably more like Moscow or something like that. That, if I'm right, probably more like Christians as well if they are religious. So conflicted things. So I wonder why they put the other side of the Russians on the card too. I wonder why it's such a Russia heavy card.
I would say maybe it's just a travel thing, but we've seen Volkov and Yan both fight in America recently.
As champions, I'm sure they could. Their visas probably aren't as struggled, maybe.
Yeah. And it's not like
now I'm just saying that as bullshit. But like, I don't know any facts of that, but I've never heard of one of the actual big guys struggling, like a champion struggle or anything like that. And maybe when you're doing your visa clearance, they're gonna be like, "This guy's fucking UFC champion." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like this is like. It's like the footballers don't have problems getting clearance to other countries and stuff like that, you know? So if it's just like you're in the prelims of a UFC card, they're a bit like, I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of people with a lot of important jobs going, like, you can miss this one out. Then now, like, I don't know, we're not going to fast track anything. But if you're like proper top of your athletics, you know, maybe they're like, all right, there's a certain process you get clicked into there, and you only get clicked in there if you're the top of people.
Possibly,
in your profession.
Possibly, most likely as well. I know, obviously, the UFC signed a deal with Abu Dhabi to put, I think it was 5 years worth of cards on, with last year being the first one. Obviously, they probably didn't expect Khabib to retire on that one. They was probably expecting him to be there for the duration of the 5 years. But it's interesting, as you mentioned, and they happened with Fight Island last year, of course, which was a different circumstances. A lot of the international fighters were on this card. And obviously...
There's you've seen, I don't know if you looked at either cards, the two UAE Warriors cards that just happened. Every single time UAE Warriors does a card, it's literally just like every single fight's from someone from a different part of the world. Going to have multiple guys from different countries in Africa, loads of Europeans on there, a couple of Americans, a Japanese fighter, 2 South Korean, just people from everywhere in the world is on their cards. And I don't know, maybe it's like their plan or something. Maybe they want that because obviously this whole thing, not to get too deep in it before the fight starts, this whole thing is obviously like some like bullshit, like corrupt, like we'll pay you a fuckload of money to do your sports event in our country because every day in our country is really poor and we're trying to pretend that it's not and we're a luxury, you know. I think one of the journalists of MMA was saying it's the most bizarre thing in the world where like the entire of this island that this is on, every single aspect of it is tourism related. Like there isn't anything local at all. There's no like, you'll nip down to the corner shop. That's like a shop that's designed for tourists to come to, you know? But like, say when I went to Ibiza, they've got an entire row of Buckfast on the shelf. Like, why does a shop in Spain have Buckfast all down the shelf? Because a lot of Scottish people go over there and a lot of Scottish people buy Buckfast.
It's true. It is true. We just had the standoffs there. Both of them very pumped up for this.
Yeah, big time.
It does
I'm
have that
very
big fight
excited,
feeling,
yeah.
and it's annoying that it isn't for the undisputed title because it would have been a little bit sweeter. This is like the next step to the boss battle in Aljamain
Yeah.
Sterling, and we don't know when he's going to be back. I'd imagine he could be on the card with Ngannou and Gane in February.
It's probably one of the most interesting scenarios for UFC because Petr Yan is getting, or Petr Yan, whatever, I'm not sure what the pronunciation is, because he's been treated as the actual champion. This is kind of getting billed in people's minds as the title fight, which means they get a free title fight in the future when Sterling, if he comes back. I did hear that his injury is so bad that some other fighters have said, I think I would retire if I got that injury, but I think it's like something serious in his back or neck or something that happened to him.
Yeah, he had to have neck surgery, which a lot of people are going, oh, why are you going to neck surgery for? Just fight. You didn't even win the title properly. Why are you backing out now?
Some people have posted pictures of him training with, I think it's Yanez,
Yes,
and they're saying like, oh, look, he's training, like he's clearly fine and stuff. And other fighters are going, nah, mate, I think, like, I don't even like Sterling, but I think you just don't get how serious this injury is. It's kind of amazing that he's back in training, and probably stupid too, because
you don't get context.
I might retire.
Yeah, you don't get context in the
well.
photo either. It could have been a light sparring session, or it could have been a light pad session, and maybe Yanez had just clipped him or something, and someone's just taking that picture at the right time. Once it's screenshotted, you can say whatever you want to it.
They could have just spent a fucking round doing burpees or something for all we know, you know what I mean?
It's true. It is true. But Cory Sandhagen...
Looking good here from Sandhagen so far. I do like his control of the range.
I like his unorthodox
he's landed a couple leg kicks.
He's got quite an unorthodox striking. Maybe that's because of the longer limbs, but he seemed to come out to go in rather than quite direct.
Yeah. His leg kicks are working quite well so far. Something in this division as well that's hard is if you are like, say if you fight a little bit like Volkov style, where it's a lot of like sort of like lighter touches and things like that, odds are no one's going to get tired though. You know what I mean? So if odds are no one gets tired, you can throw hooks as well, you know? That was a beautiful combo from Sandhagen there and an eye-poking response. I think you're a second ahead to make that kick to the body hadn't happened there. Oh! Lovely. Loving the bodywork of Sandhagen here.
It's very Max Holloway-esque.
Yeah. Throwing big combos with his hands and ending with something like that.
The one thing I was worried about was Jan coming in with his leg kicks, because I remember the fight against Aldo. His leg kick, he just kicked the legs out from Aldo and then the body. And Aldo was actually doing all right in that fight. A lot of people wrote.
I think Aldo, that was one of the first fights Aldo brought his leg kicks back in as well, didn't he?
And it was just the fact that he got tired in round 4 that Jan came out the win.
It's a shame for him because like that fight was like 50-50 until the last couple of rounds. Like Aldo was as good as Jan easily. It's just he's fought for a long time and he has already said a few times that he didn't want to do 5-round fights unless they were for titles.
Which is ironic because his next fight is against Rob Font, which is a 5-rounder. Then if he wins that, it's going to be a third title.
Where'd that come from?
Also, what
I love the evolution of Aldo is amazing because Aldo was never as good as boxing as he is now. Like Aldo's body work is like second to none now, you know.
He is supposed to be retired by now on the run.
He just changed his whole Muay Thai style to a boxing style. Like how do you just change fighting style?
At 35 years of age.
Do you think they'll fight this weight class? Look how small like Petr Yan is, right? And yet a lot of his career, Jose Aldo was getting said he should move up and fight Khabib.
I know. It's crazy. Khabib would have mangled poor Aldo with the size difference.
I don't know. Aldo was always said as having the best takedown defense in the entire
Sandhagen's putting on a show here, by the way, as well.
Yeah, he's striking up so far.
Incredible.
And the fact that he's on the front foot is quite big as well now, because I find that nearly all fights get decided by who's in the front foot. And
Jan just can't reach him.
Leg kicks are great so far. Amazing boxing.
Sandhagen he threw the knee up the middle.
Fucking show.
Well, he came out and said that if he wins this, he's going to pretty much call himself the real champion.
You're just looking for this flying knee, aren't you?
I am. To be fair,
if this flying knee happens, you're pulling your top off and running around the estate. Yeah.
To be fair, I live in Bury, so that might not be the strangest of things that have happened this week.
I know, if I look at my window, someone's probably walking down the street with their top off anyways. It's fine. Oh!
Good leg kick there. Sandhagen's body is quite red.
Kicks. I think it's just a pale guy, isn't it?
That too. He's got one of those big, massive back toes as well, but his looks a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's just a fighter, isn't it? It just suits certain people and doesn't suit other people. I think it's because I've seen Volkov for so many years that his back tattoo just doesn't fit.
On the what point in your career you say, yeah, I'm going to get a shit tattoo now? Because every, 90% of
Oh,
MMA
there
fighters
you
have a
go,
shit
the
tattoo.
knee.
There we go. I think you're 2 seconds
Lovely
ahead.
round.
Let's go.
Effortless win for
Sandhagen, 10-9.
Sandhagen there.
Strong Sandhagen round
Barely
there.
even got a punch into him. Yeah, it's definitely 10-9. It's definitely not 10-8, but barely got a punch back and fucked up his leg. And he's putting money in the bank and also winning the boxing match at the same time. Beautiful performance.
Quality stuff from Sandhagen there. It's exactly what we want to see as well. A good scrap. We don't want to see... Sometimes you can have fights that are the magnitude where they just stand off each other because they're worried about each other's skill sets. But these two are just going straight at it, and I doubt this is going to go 5 rounds.
He's got quite a good stance as well on him, Sandhagen, that if people did want to wrestle him, he keeps his hands a little low as well. That if you did want to go for a double or something, he's got his hands there ready to stop you. But he's also, I think it's his footwork as well. He's not really too head movement. It's a lot of like footwork to like, I can hit you, but I'm away from you at all times.
I'd like to see him at 145. I think he's got a little bit more. I think
he's very skinny even at this weight, though, mind you.
Yeah, but if you could bulk up to 145, maybe. I don't know what his weight cut scenario is like going to a 135 fight. It seems like he makes weight with quite considerable ease. There's never been a conversation about, Cory Sandhagen might not make weight this week.
Yeah.
But him versus a Zabit, a Yair Rodriguez, a Brian Ortega. Give me any one of those names. I'd sign up for that.
Oh, Sandhagen versus Holloway. Man, that would be incredible.
It'd just be the Spider-Man meme all over again.
I do find it hard to think anybody like in the world outboxes Max Holloway, mind you, but still.
Well, that was the amazing stat, weren't it? We said it on your podcast, MMA Causals. Make sure to go subscribe. The whole thing about Marlon Tory and Paulo Costa was the most strikes landed in a fight that didn't contain Max Holloway.
Yeah, that's how we're calling the stats these days.
Petr Yan's coming out with a better second round, but Jesus, Sandhagen with the return there, he looks phenomenal.
So he does also, like I just said, he's not really moving his head all the time, but he does when he does need to move his head. He's very good at his head movement as well. Sandhagen.
He is Max Holloway.
He's got a lot of dexterity in his upper body compared to like say Jan. Jan's kind of leaning like side to side and stuff like that a bit, whereas like Sandhagen's very like will be down here instead and stuff. He's a lot of dexterity, a lot of good body work, good leg kicks here. Beautiful performance so far.
You know what? It's like watching Holloway Aldo too.
Yeah.
It's going in that same
that was how amazing was that? The body kick from Jan and instantly the leg kick back from Sandhagen. That was beautiful, man.
This is a proper scrap. And I say I've been
body work.
I've been saying this for probably the best part of the year now. Bantamweight is the best division in MMA.
Very possible, yeah. A lot of guys these days as well, so guys have the power often to knock each other out and hurt each other now. Oh, leg kick attempt from Jan. There was a check from Sandhagen and Jan fell back after it. Could easily just fell off balance, but...
Yeah, well, we're back.
Sandhagen's starting to feel himself a little bit here, go for the leg kicks and shit.
That's the other thing, is Sandhagen gets a bit too confident if he leaves his chin exposed.
His hands are very low all the time.
Because Jan's always...
Nice punch. Jan coming back there. Is we going to see an answer back from Sandhagen though?
He needs to answer back after that first round. And he's come prepared in the second round. As we see Volkov walking
close
around.
Round so far. I think I might still be edging a little bit Sandhagen so far this round, but...
Sorry, I think my legal stream decided it was going to crash. I just went back to Volkov walking around in the background. I think he was getting ready to make his walk.
I'll keep you posted what's going on then.
2 minutes 20. I'm on 2 minutes 20. Well, 17 now, 16. Sandhagen.
Yeah, I'm exact same.
Sandhagen's body is very red. I
don't think he's taken a ton of kicks to cause that though.
It's just probably Petr Yan kicks so hard that you only have to take 3.
Yeah, true.
And maybe the complexion of Sandhagen isn't helping him.
I'd be a nightmare for that man if I was trying to be a fucking fighter, man. My eyes would be closed up and bruised and gone. I'm a cutter as well, man. I've got like 40 scars on my head. My face probably shows it.
Yeah, you got that scar tissue. You got the Nate Diaz treatment.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much damage Diaz takes, so he's always cut.
No, that guy's cutting the fucking weight of the cage.
Petr Yan can't bring this fight back now with his boxing. It's a Petr Yan round.
Hello. A very small, deep breath there from Jan, though.
Yeah, I wonder what their gas tanks are reading at the moment.
Because there is a lot of body shots from Sandhagen, and Sandhagen hasn't thrown a ton
Oh.
on his shots.
No, it is
It's a
just
close
one, two,
round.
three, four strike combo that doesn't have too much power, but it's going to rack up the damage. Oh,
Yeah.
Sandhagen
And
going
if
for the
it,
takedown.
oh,
Good
very
sprawl.
interesting.
Good sprawl. Oh, you got a neck. Are we going to see the Alex Volkanovski that's now being titled?
Oh, immediately out of it.
Oh, the elbows in the clinch.
Sandhagen needs an answer back there.
This fight's going in a good direction, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been liking this so far. Oh, and flying the attempt.
Go on, go on. But the second knee finish we've seen tonight after Leo Murphy's against Matt Konamikani, which was perfectly timed.
Oh, man.
That was beautiful. Because he did get out wrestled in that first round quite a bit. And it was a 10-9 Namikani round, I think.
Where's my whiskey at?
He's lost the proper 12. This is a proper.
Wait, I'll show you where it was, right? The camera will probably pick it up from here, right? That's how far away it was.
Just out of
I was just
line.
looking on the floor where all the mixers
Just
are.
out of line. We make the third round there, and I think that's a 1 round apiece now, isn't it? I'd give that to Petr
I
Yan.
could easily give that second round to Sandhagen as well there. It's hard to say that second round, man. It's a hard one to score.
I think Petr Yan just did a little bit more
A little bit
damage.
more power on the shots, maybe. Makes a difference. See, you have two of them, and I'm already like, oh, I'm okay with it. Look how much is left of that. To be fair, I'm going out.
Hey,
I'm going out to a party after this, so like that is going to be gone by the end of the night. But
I've had one bottle of that, and it took me about 3 months to get through. So.
Oh, this is going tonight. There's no way this is tomorrow.
Hey, it's proper Conor McGregor tradition that drink it all within an hour.
8 cans and a bottle of whiskey. I'll polish it off fine. I don't have a problem.
It's just the Scottish do it different. That, but I love how calm and composed Sandhagen is. I can't imagine him ever getting angry. I can just imagine he's the guy. He's a guy who goes silent for 24 hours because he's so aggressive.
He is like similar to Holloway in like so many ways.
Too much whiskey.
Did it spill? It did spill over.
As we go into the third round.
I'll use a pillow. To clean it.
Petr Yan, I don't know if it's just the way he is. He looks a lot more. It looks like he's already done the third round, whereas Sandhagen's coming into the third round. Oh, nice left there. Staggers Petr Yan back. Nice body kick. I'm sorry, Aljamain.
Oh, spinning back kick.
I apologise to Aljamain Sterling, but this should probably be for the undisputed.
It's mad that we're talking about like the titling shit, and TJ Dillashaw's not a factor in that conversation either.
He should be.
I mean, TJ Dillashaw beat Sandhagen. I mean, it did happen.
Maybe we get Aljamain Sterling versus Dillashaw for they get the interim title fight, and then we just.
What do you think watching this? We've only seen 2 rounds so far, but do you think? Would you think Jan versus Dillashaw? Who do you think would win?
Oh, I'd probably edge with Petr Yan right now. Petr Yan's given Sandhagen a bit more damage, but then again, that wasn't TJ Dillashaw that had been suspended for 2 years.
The big difference in this fight so far is the leg kicks, I think, from Sandhagen. And I don't think TJ focuses on leg kicks and stuff as much.
Yeah, I don't see Petr Yan really struggling against anyone that is his stature. Like you can tell, Petr Yan is a bantamweight. I don't know if Cory Sandhagen is an official bantamweight, so to speak.
What is he an unofficial bantamweight?
Like he could very easily fight at featherweight. I don't see Petr Yan fighting at featherweight. I think he's at home at 135, and
Petr Yan's got a bit of thickness in his like arms and stuff like that. If he really wanted to, he could lose a little bit of muscle and go to flyweight probably.
Possibly. Rob Font. Now, if you gave me Rob Font Petr Yan, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, Rob Font's a good fighter as well. Rob Font and Cory Sandhagen with my 2 big uppercut from Jan there. Oh, big comeback.
Nice uppercut. I just seen that uppercut. Oh,
What, Matt? What,
Proper
how do you?
scrap.
What time yet?
We're good. I just hit 2:34, 2:43, but we're good. We're seeing pretty much the same thing, same time.
I'm going to pause mate for a second.
Oh. This Venom deal has not been well. The Venom deal has been fantastic. The fights since the Venom deal have just been incredible. I don't know if it is because they're shorts, but it just seems like this new era of MMA and this year just giving us some incredible fights and moments.
Yeah,
as well.
it's been a good year.
Because it does feel like we're turning that clock now. We're at that point where we're seeing some of the older guys between about 2015 to 2020 that they dominated in are slowly getting brought out and getting that new generation in. Fighters who are going to be here for the next 10 years. Talking about Max.
Yeah, just naturally. Like when you really think of the entire scope of MMA and stuff like that, it's genuinely been about 30 years now, so.
Yeah. And the average age is getting younger. It's like, I don't think, like you see, you got Darren Till, who's still 28. You still got the Tom Aspinalls that are in their mid-20s.
Oh.
Max Holloway's still only 30 years of age himself, I think, 31. And he's been through the ring.
Yeah. He was, like 19 when he started or something?
Yeah, which is crazy. And talking about that, did you see the little back and forth that he had with Connor?
Yeah, I saw like a picture. It was like the last picture on your phone or something like that.
Yeah, and it was
McGregor put up a picture of him and Max.
Which is interesting, because why is that the last picture on your phone? What are you doing to have that on your last
I think it wasn't actually the last picture on the phone. He just found a picture of the two of them and... Oh! Dropped him!
Down. That was nice. Petr Yan unleashing it. This is where Petr Yan's very good.
And it's funny because you look at Sandhagen there and again, his face is just like, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah, he's still...
What the fuck?
He's still in the same mindset.
Why has Sandhagen now got to a position where he's going for a takedown? How did that happen?
This fight's been pretty wild. I'm on 30
this is
now.
fantastic scrambling. Oh my god. Sandhagen ends up on top. What's even happening here? What position are they in? What do you call that position?
Back to their feet now. I think they just separated. What time are you on?
20 now.
Right,
19,
I'm a couple
18.
of seconds ahead of you now, which is...
Yeah, I paused mine. Okay, try and catch up. I can fast forward a little bit in there. So you're what, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good round. Great fight.
Beautiful round.
Who gets that? Petr Yan? Just for that takedown at the end?
I would say Jan that round, yeah. I'm a little close in the second round, but I'd say definitely round 1.
He
easily
well.
Sandhagen and round 3 round 3 Jan.
Yeah, this is one of those fights that might get shown at the end of the year. Although it's not like it's been a tremendous back and forth, it's just been two very technical guys bringing their best. I'm glad we got 2 extra rounds of this. This would have been if this would have been the end of the fight, I would have been disappointed.
I've got like 50 messages on Facebook of just people talking about this fight.
Right, this is my prediction right now, yeah? Cory Sandhagen comes out and throws the wheel kick.
Wheel kick?
Wheel kick like he did against Marlon Moraes. That's his first move going into the 4th round.
I'm going to say Sandhagen gets a takedown in this round.
Yeah? I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they had a little scramble there and he did go for a takedown earlier and I think he was enjoying it. So I think maybe he'll go a little harder to get it this time.
He wanted it in round 2.
And dropped.
Oh, it's 9:30. How incredible is this?
I know. And it's been really quick as well. It is looking like it might actually go to like towards 11 now though.
Yeah, nice 7-hour fight card.
When I realised it was like nearly 8:30 and this fight was about to start, I was like, oh, no way. Like, it's going to be done so much earlier than I was expecting it to be. So I'll get to the place.
There's a flying knee attempt. Right. Where are you now? Are we synced up?
22, 21,
yeah,
20.
Sandhagen's coming out stronger again this 4th round.
His leg kicks are so effective. If he can maybe have a little bit more sharpness on them. Imagine he had like the Aldo or Barboza style of leg kick, you know what I mean? Oh, big punch back from Jan.
Yeah, that Barboza. If he had a Barboza kick in his locker, that would be incredible.
Big punch again from Jan.
He's got a chin on him, Sandhagen. Fair play.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's so hard to say that Jan is like the greatest fighter in the world or anything like that because he's just doing a good job boxing. I wouldn't even say it looks like the most amazing boxer I've ever seen him, but he's just done a great job and he may well. It's mad.
This is why I love this division because I think I said it to Lance a couple months ago. I think it might have been when this title fight took place or the previous one to that. But obviously the lightweight division, welterweight division, they got the big names. But at the top of that division, I always think the skill gap between the champion and the 15 in lightweight and welterweight has always been quite despair. Like you wouldn't put the 15 up against the champion and expect them to have a close fight. Whereas in the bantamweight division, I think, okay, it hasn't got the names, but I think the group that we got and the roster that we got is so interchangeable with who can win and who can lose. Like you got Cody Garbrandt, he could probably beat Petr Yan on his day if he lands a good strike.
But Garbrandt doesn't even factor into any of this shit.
He's fighting the flyweight now. He's been put down to flyweight to fight Kai Kara France.
Mad.
But the bantamweight division, it never disappoints. And this fight's not disappointing either. It's incredible. I think at the time it was.
There you go. I fucking got you.
Oh,
take down from Sandhagen.
Oh, heel hook. Oh,
what a fucking legend I am.
And he's taking the back. This is a problem for Jan because he's not got the height advantage. Although he's done well.
Oh, there you go again. Another attempt. He's just doing extra ones now just to prove me extra right. I'm delighted I got that. I'm delighted I got that. No wheel kick in sight either there, Mitch.
It's coming. But it might not be coming.
That was almost a wheel punch.
Hey, Jan's boxing.
Jan is fucking him up, yo.
It's just absolutely turned on its head, hasn't it? It's not what you like to see.
And it's funny as well because some people might say the Jan was waiting for him to tire out. I think if you do say that, that's not understanding what Jan is actually doing. Jan is tiring him out. I think Sandhagen can do this for fucking 50 rounds if he wants to. Jan is the one that's made him tired.
It's a weird pressure that Jan puts on his opponents. Like we saw it with Aldo again. Aldo had a good fight up until maybe the third, fourth round, and then it suddenly swung in his favour.
Big elbow back from Sandhagen there. Sandhagen's so good, man.
He's got a chin. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, he's just taking that as well. This is a scrap.
I feel like watching this fight, it's so much easier to be impressed by Sandhagen weirdly as well, and I don't get why.
Because you almost expected Jan to do this. I think you expected Jan to do this.
I think at this point, maybe Jan is winning, I think now. At least he's won 2 rounds at this point, I think. Oh, he's going for that Kimura there. See that?
Can't see 2 in succession, can we?
Oh, great from Jan.
Some good boxing. They did it to Faber as well. Faber was in the fight until all of a sudden he just didn't have anything left in him and Jan just slaughtered him.
Yeah. Faber was like 437 years old, though.
This is true.
His combos have chilled out way too much now, Sandhagen. Hopefully in the last round, the way that works sometimes, it's like, every bit of energy you got left only has to last me 1 round. I am going to pee quickly, though.
Now, is this 3-1 or is it 2-2? So it could be 3-1 Young.
Either, yeah. I felt like it edged at the time, 2-2. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to pee really quickly.
No worries, you got a minute. You got a minute on the clock. Yeah, fantastic fight at the moment. How do you have it scored? Is it 3-1, 2-2? How do you thought this fight has gone down so far? An incredible fight between Sandhagen and Petr Yan. I thought it'd be a close fight. I didn't think it'd be this close. And it's come back and forth as well. You see both of them having highlights, both of them peaks and troughs. It has been an incredible bantamweight fight. And you see, it sounds like Sandhagen's talking back to Petr Yan for this final round. Bit of back and forth, unless he's just talking to his coach. But let's go. Final round. Gary is not here right now. He's had to take a break. He's broken the seal. Nate tries to go hit MMA Casuals to subscribe as well. They're doing fantastic work with their podcast. Here we go, final round, final 5 minutes. Jan keeping control of the centre of the octagon right now. Got more Sandhagen coming around the outside. Good couple jabs there from Sandhagen.
Yo.
We're back. He's not missed much.
We're back.
A lot of circling of the octagon right now.
Yeah, that's surprising. Next fight.
And here we go. We see Jan starting to unleash. It's almost like they waited for you.
Here was me thinking we were going to finish early tonight, eh?
I thought it was either going to be a Sandhagen decision, which it still might be, or a Petr Jan almost sort of domination. I didn't think it'd be so back and forth. It looks
much better this round, by the way. Sandhagen, his sharpness is completely back.
It's almost like he just took a round off, I guess.
Sometimes you just say it to yourself, I've only got 1 round to go though, so I can summon every bit of energy I have in my body.
Everything you put into this training camp is into this final round.
Big time, yeah.
I'd also like to see Aljamain versus Sandhagen too. I'd like to see both rematches, just because I thought Sandhagen... Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how much of that was Aljamain Sterling and how much of that just Sandhagen coming in on a bad night.
It's really interesting. I'd love to see Aljamain versus Jan against Sandhagen or Dillashaw. 3 really good fights.
All 3 good fights.
And to see maybe less Jan, because it did look like he was going to struggle with Jan. Like I think
it was 3-1, 4-0 going into that.
The thing was, he came out in the first round and was really active, and Jan didn't handle that well. It doesn't. We saw in this fight, first round, they had so much activity in his face. He struggles with it.
Maybe the problem is start of Petr Jan.
Maybe I think also like the problem is people are just throwing punches at you constantly, and he's like, man, I'm trying to figure out my moment and shit like that. And then eventually they can't just keep throwing punches non-stop for the whole fucking fight. Like,
I mean,
eventually they're going to slow down.
He had a slow start against Jose Aldo. He had a slow start against Faber, I think, if I remember rightly. So maybe he's just someone who takes a round.
Maybe.
Since the second round, he's looked on top of his game.
Oh, nice attempt. Oh, the scrambling of Sandhagen is outstanding as well.
Good left hand there. Yeah, this
round's quite close so far.
It has been close. They spent the first 30 seconds sort of working out where each other's at, and then they just went back to what they've been doing for the rest of the fight.
This could be like one of the situations like I was talking about with the Dillashaw fight against them. He could have the opposite side of that.
It might be a split decision.
He could be on the opposite end. It could be a case that he easily won the first round, with the second and the fifth are close, and then he might win the second and fifth on the judges' scorecards. So could happen. Obviously, I feel like it is quite clear that Jan took 3 and 4. So that's where the fans will rage about that, because they're going to be like, oh yeah, Jan won those rounds easily, and then he probably won one of the other rounds. You're like, well, probably. What if they probably, like, maybe.
You'll be watching clips on the lockdown for a week saying Jan was robbed. Oh,
I can't. It's funny as well, because I love nothing more than talking about MMA, but the more people that I've been exposed to talking about MMA, the more I hate all the people that are out there.
Yeah, I guess it's the circles that we're in, aren't we? At some point, we just see a rabbit hole. I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I do it with United as well. Sometimes I just see United posts and I'll just scroll down the comments, knowing that I'm going to get angry or find something that I'm going to be displeased seeing. But I just do it anyway, and it seems that's the way it's going. I
don't do it too much in MMA, but I do it like politics and shit like that. I'll do all that kind of shit, and I'm like, why did I do this? Why do I care what some 50-year-old that's just got Twitter for the first time their opinion on fucking Asda having black people in an advert or something? You know what I mean? Why do I care what this guy's opinion is? But I'm annoyed that he had it, and I sought it out and then gave it. Oh, nice knee. Very, very close fifth round, man. Very close fifth round.
Close one. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, left there.
Just went for that flying knee a lot of times tonight, and he's kind of landed on the arms every time.
It's almost like Jan's been prepared for it.
Oh! Lovely
Oh!
finish. Very nice. That was a fun-ass fight, man. That's fucking good.
It's a good job Jason Holmes is the ref. It is a ref. Because you can see that lunge being thrown at the end of the round. Another referee would be
Herzog's the best in the business. Herzog is easily the best in the business right now.
oh yeah, right now he's top of the game. You saw that in that fight because obviously we had the monstrosity, then we saw Jason Herzog compete.
Yeah,
in the
a
next
few
fight.
years ago, I would maybe have said Mike Beltran.
Yeah, he was going for a run.
The guy. Yeah, he just made a couple little mistakes in there, and Herzog never makes mistakes. Like, he's always on.
He always seems to know when to control the fight as well.
Goddard is good, but I think Goddard has had many moments where he is a talking point of that fight, where that has never happened with Herzog. You know what I mean? Like, he's just done something that makes him a bit more of the focal point of the fight than other people have done, and that has to be something on him because like
a Herzog fight where I've gone, oh, we should have really done this there.
Yeah.
You always see the reasoning behind Herzog, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision. But that was a great scrap. It's been interesting to see how they've scored this.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to be at least what would the numbers be then? At least 3 rounds to 2 to Jan, I think. And I think some judges. I think some judges are also going to give 4 rounds to Jan. I don't have a problem if they do give it to Sandhagen, mind you. I will make that clear. I have no problem with Sandhagen winning 3-2. I think that's seeable. You know what I mean? Round 2 and round 5 can be Sandhagen's.
It seems like a lot of the highlights are Petr Jan moments.
It's just the guy in the highlight. It's just what he decides. It's like when I've played the game a million times, and if I play against my brother, sometimes I've easily won a round. But he like rocked me once in the round, and I rocked him 5 times. But they just show his one replay 5 times in a row, and you're like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
See, this is where Hasbullah's messing it up. I saw the kid there next to Petr Jan, and I thought, "Oh, they brought Hasbullah into this." Like, no, it's actually his actual son.
Jan. 49. So they gave him the last round and the second round. They gave him both of them. Every judge gave him round 5 and round 2.
So was it 49?
Which no problem with them all doing that. They were 2 close rounds. So yeah, 49, 46, all 3 judges.
Can we get a rematch for an interim title? Is that possible?
How would they rematch?
Cory Sandhagen will go back to back.
That was fun. Let's just do it again.
Yeah, why not? After Sandhagen can take a couple months out, why not?
I don't really care, Sterling, to be honest, mate.
The funny thing it would be if they vacated the belt, and then what happens? I mean, I guess they just promote Petr Jan to the undisputed. But yeah, that was a good scoring. That was a good scoring of a fight. There was no sort of robbery there. Just an incredible fight, and that leaves us on nicely to the main event, which I don't think would be 5 rounds. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Like, I'm guessing, I'm hoping not, because like I did tell my missus that it will probably be done by 10. You've
got 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's. I agree. Even going to get to the fight by 50 minutes, but
let's hope. Let's hope. What's it? Let's hope that Jan Blachowicz does it in 5 minutes or something, or Glover Teixeira does look 40 years of age all of a sudden. Yeah, that was a good fight. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was an outstanding fight.
What does it leave for Sandhagen?
Really good.
I mean, I guess he gets robbed.
Oh, there's Hasbulla on his shoulders.
How will we let this happen?
It's just a different Russian kid.
It's his actual son. I would just go, yeah, Hasbulla anyway.
Why do they look like the same person?
I don't know. I mean, they might be the same age. We don't know at this point. But that was a great scrap. Come on, say something towards Aljamain Sterling. Come on, let's revisit that. Say something to him.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd give Sandhagen either Font or Aldo. Whoever probably wins that one, because they're going to be out for a little while they wait for this to sort itself out.
Go and see. Something off my hand me it over. I'm talking off my screen. I'm breaking the fourth wall. That's right.
That's how it is.
I've recruited my girlfriend to make me a zombie top, so I don't do it myself to go to this Halloween thing later.
Hey, it is what it is.
I know. I was half thinking, should I sit here between fights and try and put on fake blood on my face? And I might just make a state myself. I need somebody else to do it for me. Oh, Sandhagen interview.
Wise decision. What's he gonna do? Go on, take your gloves off. It's always the best part of this. I feel sorry for Sandhagen because he's been on the rough end of a couple of decisions now. Go on, cut to 125. Go on, do it. Do it.
Just pushing them to do shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Go on, retire. Go on.
No. The last watch along I did was when Khabib retired, which was heartbreaking. So no more retirements on live streams, please. Which felt weird because I'd only just Khabib felt like we'd only just got used to or got on the side of Khabib last year. It felt like it was Khabib versus everyone, and then actually Khabib actually felt pretty human going into that fight.
Yeah.
Which probably
I think it would have. Khabib's another one. Like I turn on fighters because of their fans so often, and Khabib was one of the guys that I turn on just because of how his fans are. You know, shit. Like Khabib is definitely not the greatest of all time because Khabib was on top for like
a year and a half,
3 years and fought about 5 good guys. You know what I mean? Like you get guys like GSP who are on top for like 10 years and fought all of the number one contenders in the title. Like it's just not really that. Just not that much competition there between who is the greatest of those two. But regardless of that, Khabib seems like, other than his couple transgressions he's had himself, not to the degree of McGregor, obviously, but compared to other fighters, he's done some dumb shit along the way. Had some bad comments about women fighters, had some bad comments about making the homeless guy do push-ups for $1 and shit like that and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, though, he was also young, he was stupid, it came past him as well. Hopefully he's learned from those things as well. Hopefully as well, I'd say the one I'd hope that he's learned from the most is his whole women shouldn't be fighters stuff. I'm hoping he's been around so many women fighters in the gym and shit like that over the years. Yeah. That he's being like, you know what, they're just doing the same fucking shit I am, you know what I mean? Like
we're in the same boat.
And like he is, and not in the fucking offensive way that Connor was saying and stuff like that. He is from a small town and shit like that. He is from a small area. Like people have very like old schooly, traditionally values then, you know what I mean? And once you get out and about in the world, you realise, oh yeah, not every woman is a cook or a clean, you know what I mean? Like people want to do other fucking shit in their life, and maybe they want to be a professional badass fighter as well.
I think that's what I hate Twitter for the most, because, as you mentioned, you know, we see Khabib, and he's come through his culture and his religion, and what he's been taught with, and what he's grown up with is what it's all he's known until he's seen the opposite of the world. But I hate it when people get crucified because of their background in the religion without being given the opportunity to learn the other aspects. There's so much closed-mindedness on social media.
I mean, you can get called a cunt because you have a cunt opinion, But if you then learn from that opinion down the line, you shouldn't get held to that previous opinion.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'd say maybe a good example is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury hasn't said any of that offensive shit that he said years ago anytime recently. He's not said what he said in 2015 and stuff like that. So because of that, and he's like had the opportunity to give cunt opinions, but he hasn't. No. So like then you're like, well, you know what? Like to be fair, I guess you can still hold them to it until they say my opinion was shit back then. Until they undo it,
yeah.
Then it's still done. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the fair way to say it. But at the same time, like, yeah, like you can. The problem is, combat sports are filled with dickheads. That's the problem with it.
Yeah,
there's so many assholes.
It's not the upper echelon of humanity or community, unless you're the 2% maybe that go into the sport. One didn't do.
I think it will change in time. Historically, and as we said, MMA's only been there for about 30 years or something like that. MMA kind of, most of the people that did MMA are kind of like dumb rednecky people at the start, like just idiots who thought fighting was the only thing that they could do because they didn't want to think for a life. That had changed, right? There's plenty of smart people that have changed that on the way. There's still plenty of idiots still going. I think in about 20 years or something like that, we'll see a whole different type of people because people are going to just grow up as kids watching the fighting with their parents, go into martial arts at a young age because like say I have a kid tomorrow, that kid is going to be in martial arts or some thought, you know what I mean? Like I'm just going to make sure they're, because it's good to you, like martial arts is good and stuff like that. The only downside with MMA martial arts is so many people think MMA adheres to this martial arts code or some shit with that. Like, oh yeah, like martial arts would be like we would all have respect for each other and shit like that. And you're like, you have not been paying attention then if you think that everyone has that opinion. Yeah. No chance they've got that opinion. Everybody's a dickhead in MMA. The only people that aren't are Glover and Jan that we're about to watch. Did you see before that Jan went up to him and it was Glover's birthday yesterday, I think. And Jan went up to him and gave him a bottle of beer and he's like, this is the finest beer from my hometown in Poland. So I brought it to you. Happy birthday, mate. And let's go out and give it our all tomorrow. That's fucking amazing, man. I love shit like that.
See, the sinister side of me has said, oh, maybe he's put something in that beer to give him a he did actually.
He did stop it and say, but drink it after the fight.
Yeah.
Drink after the fight. It's a strong beer. It's a strong beer. Make sure you drink it after the fight.
We could have a Paulo Costa situation again. But, yeah.
I don't know. I look at Glover and think he can handle a few pints. He's a pint man. He can sit in the bar and stay there for the day.
He's been training in Connecticut with Chuck Liddell for the past decade.
He has, hasn't he? I forgot that. I've not heard about Glover training with Chuck Liddell since Glover came into UFC. I've not even heard that.
That man.
Who else is there? Like TK Ghostin and shit like that into it? Is that the other guy that would be mates with him?
And Chael was in there. Well, I don't know if Chael was in there a long time, but he said, I was listening to his podcast, but he was working with ESPN. He would go into Glover's gym and do some training there. So Glover's been on the bar crawls a couple of times. He must have done.
It used to be, it was just like a shed or something like that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like, even like when Glover came in, so it's not like Chuck Liddell's like an unknown guy, but I'm pretty sure they just trained like in a shed or something.
Well, you mentioned that, talking about, I was meant to make a post about this, but Glover Teixeira, so he was drinking from his own words, talking about whiskey and that, he was drinking a bottle of Hennessy on the weekend, and he was partying, drinking a bottle of Hennessy on the weekend, and he's cut all that out for the past probably year or two, which is probably why he's seen such a good resurgence.
Yeah, let's see with it anyways. Yeah, that's the killer, because I'm like, I do the same fucking Glover. Why the fuck am I getting? Why do I look like this and you look like that, mate? But he worked hard the other 5 days of the week.
It's interesting what happened. If he does win, does he go on defend it? Does he say, you know what, I'll peak the mountain and I'll vacate it?
Realistically, he should vacate that. But there's too much money in the table to do a second fight. Like, it's too much money. Like, he'll get pay-per-view points and shit like that. Say Jones, there's a good chance Jones would fight him.
Possibly. I think you're right, but I don't know if Jones has gone too much down this heavyweight route where he's put on the muscle where I think he'd be bothered to lose it all again.
Did he not do that though when he had his big suspension? He looked ginormous, and then he
Maybe.
came back and looked the same way he always had. You're like, what the
Maybe.
fuck happened there, Jones? Did he just lose the muscle again? I thought that was quite hard to do.
Hey, apparently,
This I'm so hyped for this fight because it's two big boys who love a bit of boxing, a bit of strategic boxing and shit with that. The fact that Glover can get robbed. A little side note, Jan didn't ask me anything on Reddit, I want to say. Oh, no, it might be on Twitter, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody asked him, what's your biggest thing that you're going to do when you fight Glover? And he's like, if I hurt him, don't run at him. Like, basically going like, everybody else has fucking hurt him. And then he gets up and beats you. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? So he's like, if I hurt him, just keep it calm. Like, look for the finish instead of go like, I've hurt him.
Yeah, we saw that with Anthony Smith, didn't we? Anthony Smith brutalized him in that first round. Gave everything he had in the gas tank, and then obviously Teixeira survived that and came back and battered him back.
Or then you've got Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos rocked him, took him, like they went down. Thiago Santos fell to the ground. Then Glover kind of gets up and hurts him or submits him or something. I can't remember what it was. But man, yeah.
Let's have a look at the tape. Not that one. Would be that one. 28-8 against 31-7. Huge records between the two of them. Both the same height, same weight. It's only really the reach advantage in Blachowicz is there. They're 2 inches and then 1.5 inches in the leg reach as well. The only thing that would bum me out if Glover Teixeira wins tonight would be the fact that we lose Jan versus Yuri for the lightweight title in Poland.
Yeah, true. Would they do it in Poland?
Jan's pretty much said if we're gonna, I mean, obviously Jan's word can't be taken. It's not like Jan said something and UFC are gonna stand by it, but Jan pretty much said if we're gonna fight Yuri, it's got to be in Poland or Ukraine or somewhere like that in Europe, which I think would be fair for him. But I mean, I guess you get Yuri versus Glover equally is that exciting fight.
I do agree with you, mate. For some reason, Yuri versus Glover doesn't feel as exciting as I don't think I'm going to be that excited about all of Glover's fights. This fight, though,
Last Dance,
and in its isolation, this fight is incredible. Am I that interested in seeing him defend against Yuri or fight who else?
Reyes or someone like that? Reyes.
Yeah, these guys. Maybe they do beat him. Like he's not going to keep doing this forever. Like sometime these guys are going to beat him. Like it's just going to happen. But yeah, just in its isolation, stylistically, the fact that these are two boys who like a standard grapple, not any sort of crazy, like nothing too Dagestani.
Yeah, you get that bit. These are two warriors.
And they like a bit of boxing.
That's true. You know, neither of these are quote unquote specialists. You're not going to see someone put out a crazy submission. They're going to see two warriors that are quite closely, at least if you look at them stylistically, quite close to one another. They've been to the lowest point of the sport as well. Even Jan Blachowicz, you know, he got released, didn't he, I believe, from the UFC, or at least when one of four. I don't think he got released at that point.
I'm not sure he got released.
I don't think he got released, but he went on that huge winning streak to where he is now, and he ultimately deserved it. He beat Dominic Reyes badly. And, you know, I'm a huge Israel Adesanya fan. He beat Israel Adesanya fair and square, especially those 4th and 5th rounds with those takedowns.
Whoa. Did you not see the feints?
Yeah, no, the feints that, you know, he was eating the feints all day, weren't he? He was eating those feints.
Yeah. I was big on that one. I was saying I actually thought he won like 4-1 or 5. No, like it's proper like just outboxing, out kickboxing Adesanya.
If Israel Adesanya would have gone up those 20 pounds or say he went up to 220, 225 and then cut back down rather than just going in there at 200 and saying, fuck it, let's see what the skills can do. Maybe. But I still think Jan probably wins because Jan's a dangerous
I get the feeling that Adesanya doesn't really cut a bunch of weight for some reason. I get the feeling that Adesanya just is sort of a skinny guy all the time. His metabolism's really quick or something. So he just always kind of walks around maybe like 190, 195 or something. I get the feeling.
I don't think he cuts more than 15 pounds down for a weight.
Could easily be wrong, but like it just strikes me as a guy that I've never seen him and thought he's clearly needs to cut weight to make his weight now. You know what I mean? He's got a bit to lose here. Whereas when you look at like so many people now out of weight or anything, yeah. Well, Paulo Costa's a bit different, but yeah. No, well, Paulo Costa looks the same out of a fight than he does in it. That's just
That's
because he
true.
decides not to cut the weight though. So
You know what the annoying thing was? He actually had a point about the why are we weight cutting situation. That was the only point he had, but he decided to make that point on Wednesday rather than 2 weeks before the
true.
fight.
Make that point fucking 2 months ago when you signed the contract and you can just agree to fight it like ever or something. To be fair, I think Marvin Vettori, if he does the weight cut easy, would say, nah, like I'll cut the weight easy and you'll struggle to cut the weight. So no, I don't want to fight you at weight heavyweight. Let's just fight at middleweight. I'm going to have an advantage there. Why the fuck would I not want to just do that?
Yeah, we thought we signed a contract to fight this weight. Let's just fight at this weight.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the other thing. Obviously, we saw what happened. I think I said this at the top of the show. We saw what happened in that fight. We can see what happened in this fight week, and you can just see these are two gentlemen that are proper fighters, proper warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have something about them. The only thing,
if I wasn't doing this video right now, by the way, I'd be standing up whenever I get to. Whenever I get to, I'd have to walk out of the camera and shit in front of me. One thing before this fight starts, I never even showed it. Here's my little setup that I've got going on tonight.
Yeah, let's set your setup.
That I'm watching. How do I get the cameras
Two
up?
pumpkins up for Halloween as we do.
Little pumpkins, little TV. That's very cool. I'm happy with that.
It's a good setup. It's a good setup. It'd be interesting to see what the buys are on this. Well, actually, no, there isn't any buys. It's free. It would have been interesting to see had this been a regular pay-per-view, how many buys it would have done, because the only sort of
it's like a numbered event, but not a pay-per-view, if I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah. The only caveat is that whole storytelling aspect of, are these two people too nice to sell a card? Where's your hero villain sort of thing? These are the same people fighting. But that's just from a narrative point of view. This fight, as a whole, as you mentioned, as a one-off, it's an incredible fight. I did see a tweet that was quite funny. It was saying if this fight was on Bellator, you'd all be clowning it.
True, maybe people would moan about it and shit with that, but fuck it, man. This is because there's a very good chance Nemkov would be either of them.
That is true.
But still, my sound is definitely either ahead or behind. I think it's behind.
It would be interesting to see what Nemkov does in the UFC. I think that'd be an interesting one. It'd also be interesting to see what the likes of Dominic Reyes, because Dominic Reyes is in a tough spot now. He's lost 3 in a row. That European Husky knockout was vicious. How he'd do in a different organisation, but I still think he's got 1 or 2 more chances in the UFC at least. Unless they get him back live.
My face is so close to the camera. It's just that my BT decided to log out there, and I want my sound back because now I can't hear any sound.
And here we go, final fight of the night. 2 warriors going at it, and Jan comes out with the leg kick immediately. Jan's a scary one because he doesn't. He's such a nice guy.
Oh shit! What the fuck happened? My TV went off. Fuck. Okay, now I'm watching on my laptop now.
Well, we're all good.
I'm not hanging about. I can fix my TV, but big takedown from Glover.
Oh, you're already ahead of me. Great. No. Here we go. Taking a single leg. Well, I mean, he did say he's going to get him down at some point. That's huge.
Yeah, that's big.
That's huge.
He does like a takedown, but he doesn't really look for it too often, Glover. So he does. He's kind of like mostly a boxer.
This is payback for what he did to Adesanya. Right, I'm going to turn on Jan Blachowicz now. This is what he gets to taking down Israel Adesanya.
Well, that's what I hate whenever they says that Jan won by grappling him. Yeah, in the last 2 rounds. He out kickboxed him in the first 3 rounds, though.
And it is an MMA fight. It's like, we can touch on this now while this fight takes place. The whole Clarissa Shields getting a tough matchup thing when she's fighting someone who's 3-0.
Oh, man. I'll probably do a video if I can push myself to do it. I'll sit down and do an actual video on that, like a solo video, and just be like fucking slating that shit. This is weird now. I'm
everyone
just talking to you about it.
Everyone in the sport, like Sean O'Malley, is a prime example of someone. Now maybe it's gone a bit too long. MVP, someone as well. Everyone complains that they don't get the tough opponent; they get the easy option. But Clarissa Shields has been doing this sport for years. She's pretty much an amateur fighting in the professional rankings. She's learning on the job. She's looked okay. No, that first fight she could have easily lost, but she did come out with that finish. She's always going to be fantastic on the striking.
I don't give a fuck if you're like popular or not and stuff like that. The important thing is that like no one is getting treated unfairly.
No.
I don't want you to get a mismatch opponent because I don't want your opponent to have an unfair fight either. Like, if they gave her somebody that she would easily beat, that's unfair to that opponent. Like, why should that person get a fight that they can't win?
Exactly. I mean, we've seen it in obviously. We see it in UK MMA. We see, obviously, there's...
Oh, man, don't... Yeah, why would you say that? Do you want me to watch this fight, or do you want me to bitch about MMA? After a few drinks as well, I'm like a fucking quarter way through a
That's
bottle.
All right. Bellator Teixeira is dominating on the ground right now.
Cans in.
Jan's struggling
he's absolutely killing him.
But, yeah, there's a particular name or trio of names, I think it's been found out now, who, turns up less competitive than his opponent. And
the one name...
PFL.
The one name about all of it is Darren Moffat. He's the manager of all of them. Every single one of the guys that take dives, he's the manager of. So.
Oh, we've gone down this road now.
Yeah.
We've gone down the road. We can't tell it. It's what
no, that was the end of the road. I finished the road. That's like it's a great round from. That being said...
Did you expect this from the get-go?
Definitely not. But that being said, it's not really... hurt him or landed anything really of significance. He's dominated the round.
He just held him in place.
If Teixeira can do this every round, we're good then. We're laughing. You can do that to the end. Nice elbow there, big elbow.
Has Cory Anderson tweeted yet?
I haven't seen. Cory Anderson would have won this fight twice by now.
You know what? If it was a Bellator matchup, you might be onto a fair point there.
It'll piss him off as well because he'll be like, "Fuck's sake, man! Like if I took him down, I'd wreck him on the ground. But you didn't. He knocked you out instead. That's what happened."
What happens in MMA? But yeah, I think he beats. Do you think he beats Nemkov?
Cory Anderson?
Yeah, because obviously we've got the final.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think just a bit too good.
Yeah, I think Nemkov is very... Then again, I was the guy back in the day that said Liam McGeary was like a top 5 UFC fighter, and that didn't pan out. So
hey, sometimes
maybe I'm a little biased to Bellator guys sometimes. Maybe
it's easily done sometimes with the matchups they make.
He's going a lot for the what's it called, the can opener when you pull their head back like that.
Yeah, I wonder.
And I wonder, is it doing anything? I'd be interested to know in like a full-on fight, you know what I mean, what impact that could possibly have, because in the short term, I can get it's really uncomfortable and stuff like that. But I'd imagine the reason you want to make somebody uncomfortable is because you want to set up the next move.
I wonder...
You want them to think about that, and then you do something else. So then I wonder if it has an effect in isolation, or it's just a really good way to like distract them. Like, you know the way like if you put your hand on their eyes or something, they'll move your hand.
Yeah, or
you just distracted them.
Over the mouth seems to be the regular one, don't it? Sometimes.
Yeah. And I could see that one having some effect because you're literally restricting the breathing a bit. But like, I guess the can opener to some degree. Well, I guess I've just never been in it. I suppose. I guess if I'm in that position and someone did it on me, I'd be like, oh shit, right? I can understand it.
It's almost like being a tie clinch, isn't it? It's almost like a tie clinch on the ground. So I guess.
I did do the training of someone has you in tie clinch and then you have to like go under and grab them in tie clinch. But the part of the training was when they get you in it, you had to keep your head up. And that was so hard to do. When someone's grabbing the back of your head to keep your head up, the tiredness your neck gets. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to move for a week. And it didn't even hurt the next day.
Which might be where Glover's used that to tire out his neck. So maybe it's a technique where he's gone, let's tire out the neck and the shoulder part, and maybe reduce. Maybe
if your neck and traps are tired, that's going to affect every other part of you. Maybe, who knows?
Well, we've seen the likes of Yoel Romero with the huge traps just walk onto shots and take them.
I thought he was going to get him down there.
This is an incredible fight.
Yeah, it's fantastic so far. Very comfortable in his striking, is Jan. Very good, that lovely combo there.
I love to know the little nuances, like the minute details that don't really matter, but like someone like Jan here, he's got a beard. How much is that beard sort of?
I know it's something I've always wondered about. To be honest,
Is that how much
the
does it
like
affect
idea
someone?
like if you have an afro, is that padding? It seems like it'd be padding.
It's like, because I see there, obviously Glover went to take Jan's leg there, but obviously he's got the ankle socks on. Like, how much does that little bit of irritation just stop him from fully getting that ankle?
I would say it'd be the opposite in that case because that gives you
Maybe.
more grip. When the reason people always said that the ankle hangs are quite a negative thing is especially for heel hooks and leg locks because
easy to
you
hold
genuinely have a better grip. Yeah, imagine somebody's leg being really sweaty. It's quite hard to do. And I know I'm the guy that if I'm training, I sweat
That's
buckets
true.
in 10 seconds.
That's true.
So whenever I'm doing jiu-jitsu, anybody try to submit me is always like, fuck's sake, man. It's not you're just too sweaty to get that on or something like that. And I'm like, yes, that's my natural mechanism. But yeah, it's apparently a lot easier to get those sort of submissions on.
Glover's looking good.
The thing is, right? So I would say quite easily. Oh, is he actually hurt him? Or did he just stumble? I was just about to say, I think Jan's quite easily winning this round on like volume and stuff. But the fact that Glover is pushing forward.
Dropped. 252, 251, 250. I just see.
Oh, you're a lot higher than me.
Oh, where are you?
229, 228.
That's right. I just see him get rocked. My stream went, but this is a war now, isn't it?
Do you want me to pause it for a second? I'm going to pause it just because we're doing a live. I don't want to fucking react to a knockout and you're not seeing it.
Where are you?
So I'll pause it at 210.
Perfect. I've got two different streams up at the moment. One's at 230.
Right, I'm at 210. So tell me whenever one of your streams get to 210.
220. He's got him down on the ground here. This is a brutal display here from Glover. 214, 213, 212, 211, 210. You're good to go.
Cool. Yeah, that takedown there was good. I was going to say before.
He's got his back.
Jeez.
It's Nate Diaz, Conor all over again. He tapped.
Oh,
he tapped Glover's champion. Glover's champion.
He tapped instantly. What the fuck?
Glover's Teixeira's light heavyweight champion of the world.
Glover Teixeira, you fucking badass.
He did it in 2 rounds and didn't even look dangerous.
Fucking man.
He did it.
What a fucking legend of a guy, man.
Right, where's the Cory Anderson tweet?
What a fucking legendary moment of MMA.
He tapped quick.
I know, yeah, that was. I've said that. I feel like that's. I don't usually say anything about things like that and stuff like that. Like I'm not a fucking fighter, so I don't know that feeling and stuff. But at the same time, there is tapping quick, and that was a quick tap.
I wonder if he's got a back injury or something. They didn't look like it was under the neck. It looked like it was around the chin.
Maybe when he was down, he already had something for some reason in his head that like he wanted a way out of that, and then when the choke went on, he's like, right, fuck it, we're done now. Like.
You're telling me someone's paid Jan Blachowicz to lose this fight?
No, man, like I was gonna say like a back injury and more like that. Like
like it was Gustafsson versus John Jones too. He had a back injury, didn't he?
Did he? I don't even know.
I think so.
He got fucked up, anyways.
Yeah, but Jesus, that was wild because Jan Blachowicz didn't look like he was in the fight at all.
I thought in that round, at the start of that round, I did think Jan was fucking him up. I did think Jan was not fucking him up, but Jan was winning that round. I thought he was landing harder.
And then he just landed
and then
that
the second
strike.
I said that, he did get wobbled the first second, but then I'm pretty sure he landed a shot back, and then Glover got wobbled right after it. So I was like, all right, well, I don't even know what I'm saying here. Then that's when I paused it, and then it immediately got taken down.
42 years of age.
Amazing though, man.
Light heavyweight world champion. It's the only thing that he hadn't done in his career, and he's done it.
What a man. What a man. 42 years old.
6-fight win streak.
42?
6-fight win streak. And it was his birthday this week. Incredible.
Amazing. Amazing.
Wow. This is why the sport's incredible.
Man. What a fucking man. What a fucking man Glover Teixeira is, man. That's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing.
Did it with ease, too. That's...
Incredible. Incredible performance. I'll check out I'll probably head immediately after the the post fight.
Yep, that's fine. We're a little couple
but-
minutes behind.
Yeah.
To be fair, he got it done quickly for you.
Yeah,
didn't
for
waste
sure,
no
for
time.
sure. I also really need to pee, but I'm not going to. It's a shame, man, seeing a guy let him crying like that.
Yeah, what happens next? Well, yeah.
I mean, Fiance's not bad, mind you.
Both
So.
of these two could both retire. They could both retire tonight.
Too much money in the table for Glover to retire, I think.
True, and he deserves that one.
He's not had pay-per-view money before. That's actually a shame, actually, now that I think it. These guys aren't getting pay-per-view money tonight, so they've been screwed over their money.
I wonder if there's something in there that says that
Maybe it boosted them up a bit. Maybe.
Glover Teixeira. What a guy. What a guy. He's done it with a smile on his face.
Legendary fighter.
Wow. Incredible.
That was DC going, I want to speak to you as well, mate.
DC comes out of retirement. What?
I'm a bit... Take that belt.
It happened with Paul Felder before he... Well, he's not even... He's sort of retired, not retired, but there's a lot of people calling out Paul Felder when he was doing interviews. So, it's difficult.
That's cool as fuck. That's slick as fuck, I think to say.
So the rule of becoming heavyweight champion is a bottle of Hennessy on the weekend until you're 42 years of age.
I'm halfway there, mate. I've only 10 years, so I'll be there.
we got time. Time on our side.
Oh, what a good shot.
Boom. Clean left hand on the temple.
Yeah, that's when I said he was wobbled, yeah. But I think he got wobbled himself right back after, did he not? Something like that? I can't remember now.
Too much has happened since then.
Yeah.
He tapped quick. Oh, it was in tight, but forearm across the throat. But
I guess, I mean, I can understand in that position and just be like, I'm getting strangled and there's
I'm out.
nothing. Like, I don't have a single thing to hold on to or grab or movement I can do that will change this situation right now. But
incredible. Is he the third oldest UFC champion? Or at least second? Obviously, Randy Couture's number one. But he might
I'd
be.
imagine so, yeah.
That's incredible. He just called Yuri the next one. Why is Yuri there? Get him in the cage.
Look at the fucking biceps in this boy. Look at the size of those bad boys. Guys standing there with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at him. Most fighters don't look fucking ripped just chilling. You know what I mean?
To be fair, he was back up for tonight, so he might have been in camp.
Yeah, he'd cut weight and all that shit as well, so.
Which...
Go on. Go on, Glover.
Wow. What a card. What a card this has been.
What a card, what a man.
He's a nice guy as well. There's some people that they play that their nice card, that they play that nice guy image, but you know deep down that they're not.
Yeah.
But you know Glover's just a good guy all around.
Yeah. Good guy, good guy. Let's hear a little bit for Jan.
Well, he's confirmed he's not retiring, which is good. He just said he left his legendary Polish
Yeah.
power at home.
Good guy too.
Incredible. Incredible.
There we are. What a fucking good overall card, man. That was
Cracking
fucking worth
card.
doing a live stream for, eh?
Cracking card. We've seen a star born in Makhachev. We saw Petr half retake his throne. He's obviously did a second chapter against Aljamain Sterling. What else have we seen? Ankalaev looked great against Ozdemir. And we saw a good scrap between Volkov and Martin Taibury. Yeah. And obviously
good
the prelims
stuff,
too.
And early finish, so I get to go out my night in a
You're
normal
in the doghouse tonight.
time. Yeah.
What, 10, 20? You got a good, 5-6 hours to be out.
Yeah, so good stuff. Good. Cheers for inviting me on. Good card.
It had to be done. This one was at such a good time. And obviously, check out MMA Causals because you guys have had me on kindly for a couple podcasts now. So yeah, there's a couple hot takes from Sam. So if you're a fan of hot takes, then yeah, it's the place to go. Here's the place to go. And there's some good chat. Obviously, you got KSW, Brave, UAE Warriors. We're over here quite heavily focused, but these guys cover it all. But we see Glover walking out of the cage now, light heavyweight champion. He's holding back the tears, but you can tell he's gonna let it all out back inside the locker room.
I don't know if you have a sign off screen. I was holding a P for the whole round of that fight, so I'll head and do that at the same time. But so I don't know if there's I didn't want to just go in and I've got a black screen, so I don't know if you can end it.
Yes, I guess we'll wrap it up there, guys. We will have the recap tomorrow. But yes, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to drop a like on this video. Comment down your thoughts. What's next for Glover, Teixeira, Quarth, and Jan Blachowicz. And as mentioned, go give MMA Causals a subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video.
Oh, fucking brilliant. I am dying for a piss, and I'm pretty sure